Hello and welcome to the Mo Inspiration Podcast, a podcast where we interview young successful individuals who may have found success whether in their personal life, with business, with studies and academics, or even dealing with mental health. And today we have, would you like to introduce yourself actually? I'll let you introduce yourself because you like talking about yourself quite a bit.
Oh, damn. Hi, assalamu alaikum. My name is Latif Ismail. I've known Qasim for quite some time. Well, actually 3-4 years now. And yeah, I'm from Leighton, brought up here. And yeah, but I guess, you'll learn more about me as we go on.
Yeah, so thank you for coming on to this podcast. Obviously, I reached out to many individuals, and obviously you seem to have what we call a success story. I mean, I know for the listeners and the viewers here, success is completely subjective. Everyone believes that different things will make them successful, whether it's just passing a test, starting a business, becoming a millionaire, or just being happy, making a sound amount of money and having a family. But like we say, we want to hear everyone's stories, everyone's different successes. Let me just ask you, what do you think the definition of success is?
To be fair, what you just said, subjective is the perfect word to actually explain it, because yeah, like always in your life, at every different point in your life, you're like, if this happens, oh my God, I'm set. My life is super, super set. You do it. And then the next milestone comes and you're like, if I do this, I'm super, super, super set. And like that hunger never goes realistically, right? So success is, the way I would like to put it is, success is what actually makes you happy. If you're doing what you really like to do, if you're at a place where you're like, okay, look, I'm content. If I was to stop doing everything right now, I'm actually content with what I've achieved. That's a reasonable, that's a reasonable way to say, yeah, you know what? I'm successful. I'm successful in what I wanted to achieve. But ultimately, yeah, as you say, it's subjective. So yeah, it really depends on the individual, what they classify as success for themselves.
Sounds like a good enough answer to me. So obviously, last week I spoke to Daniel Khan, and we kind of looked at his boxing side, his athletic side, as well as him on YouTube and as a person. I think today we're kind of going towards your academic success, and I think, and we'll go into other successes in life, but your academic success is probably going to be the highlight of what we want to hear. It's definitely a good motivation to hear people's successes in academics, especially being a minority in the UK. We've always got that. It's kind of instilled within our parents. We've got to make it out the hood, for example. We've got to make it and be out there and be successful. It is either we've got to be a doctor, we've got to be a lawyer. We can't do no artsy stuff. These kind of podcasts. God, if we said podcasts when we were younger, we probably got hit. But yeah.
I mean, I wish I knew what a podcast was when I was younger.
I don't think it was a thing back then. Maybe I don't know. I mean, yeah.
These millennials.
Yeah. So let's let's talk about your I'm not going to talk to you from your primary school because we don't have that much kind of time right now. I don't want to hear about your primary school. I don't know what types of grass you ate and bugs you ate and what nostril you like to pick your nose out of from. Left one. Was it left one? All right. Here we have it. We have an exclusive left nostril.
Even my wife doesn't know this.
Oh God! When she hears this, she'll be looking at you. She'll be looking at you in disgust. Anything?
I hope not.
Anything you want to tell her? Were you too scared to face tell her? So you rather?
I think I'll tell her when I get home. It's the left one.
Oh, it's the left one, right? Nothing else you want to share with her, but you're too scared to share with her face to face.
No. Let's figure it out as we go along. Yeah.
So it might turn into a confession soon.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about. Let's talk about your high school, for example. We're obviously looking at academics. Talk to me about your attitudes toward academics, and then I'll let you naturally talk until where you've got to now in life.
Okay. So secondary school, went to Norlington High School, boys' school. So it's in Leighton. Yeah. So started there in year 7, all the way through to year 11. Basically, I really at around that age, everyone wants to be a sports star. Football wasn't my thing because, yeah, just seeing the people around me, I just wasn't, I guess, physical enough. I wasn't built as sturdy enough as, say, the other more athletic type of people. So cricket was predominantly my sport. I wouldn't say I was the best. Good enough to play on the school team, but I wouldn't say I was like, spectacular, so to speak. Um, so, I mean, my parents recognized that. I didn't at the time. So they would, always say, and the best thing about playing school sports, you get out of the final lesson all the time. So, you get out of a lesson. Who wants to be doing maths on last period on a Wednesday? And it's summer. It's so nice. Get out. But obviously parents objected to that, right? So then we would, there was a bit of a back and forth at home. No, let's focus on studies a bit more. Yeah, fine. You start believing like, okay, this is the right way. But obviously the rebel in you at that age really wants to go and play sports. But until the age of, I would say about 13, 14, year 9, year 9, I just wasn't interested, just didn't care. And I think it's a fair age for anyone that's actually exploring themselves. Like, okay, as a 13, 14-year-old, you don't know what you want to do at all. I think even up until now, people like me being 27, you still have like, am I actually doing the right thing? Am I doing what's going to be beneficial for me now in the future? And am I going to leave something behind? But at the age of 13, 14, you just never recognize, what you want to do going forward. But at that time, my parents put me in this place called Best Tutors, right? I think that was something that, yeah, you get an assistance, you get some sort of support, right? Outside of school, where I was just literally terrible. I couldn't multiply at the age of 13. Like, just full stop. I just didn't know maths, right? A simple fraction would be like, oh, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, I just didn't care for it. But also because I didn't understand it from a logic standpoint. So that was the biggest, driver. That was the turning point for me. Within 6 months, I literally started from ground zero. Like, literally from the ground up, I started maths again. Learn how to add, subtract, multiply, long multiplication, long division, fractions, the lot. Like, I'm talking year 1 maths all the way to GCSE maths.
Yeah.
I literally learned that whole syllabus in 6 months, and I did my maths GCSE in year 10 because I finally understood how to do maths.
Okay.
And schools, maybe I was different in terms of how I needed to learn, right? Everyone can't learn in a specific way, right?
Yeah.
So I used to tutor as well, so I recognize that. So there needs to be a different way to teach someone the same concept,
Yeah.
right? You, Qasim, might learn in, say, way A, but me, way B,
Yeah.
right? Totally fair. Like, our brains work differently. If now a teacher has to teach 30 people, they're going to teach one way, right? Like, they're not going to be able to say, Acha, bacha, come here. I'll teach it to you like this. And you come here, I'll teach it to you like this. No, they have to go on the board. This is how they do it, right?
Yeah.
So that's where limitations come. I've been fortunate that my parents were able to, get me that support,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, I've had my own battles, this, that. But also recognizing that I've had support also allows me to appreciate what my parents have done for me,
Yeah.
right? To be able to get me to where I am. But also it allows me to actually understand where there's people who don't necessarily have that support as well,
Yeah.
right? But then there's a counter to that as well, right? By doing my GCSE early in year 10, I became complacent. For the next year and a half, I was like, I am king, right? Like literally, I felt I was Shah Rukh Khan of the school. Like people were coming to me, oh, can you help me in my maths, something like this, that, and the other. And also, I didn't have to go to maths anymore. I'm done. What do I have to do? Right? And then that led to, oh, yeah, I'm actually very, very smart. You get egotistical. You start just becoming overinflated in your own head.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where grades start going down.
Okay.
Right? And then you do your year 10, what is it? Your science. And, like the double GCSE for science, you actually have to do one in year 10, one in
Or
year 11 or something.
Yeah.
Grades tank. What's happened now? Crap. I actually have to work a bit. But also, again, to work enough to be better than everyone else in a lower achieving school is easy.
Okay.
Right? Because you have a bit of a natural gift to be able to understand how much you have to learn compared to, say, the biggest way to actually understand how much you need to learn is just to be able to do some stuff first, right? If that kind of makes sense,
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
right? So the person who's able to recognize how much how much they need to learn to get a certain grade is able to, pass.
Yep.
Right? Because the thing is, if say you have to learn 5 hours and I have to learn 10 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can do 5 hours of study. I'm not going to get the same grade as you, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just our brains work in a different way. And I was very early on, I was able to recognize in that year 10 mode, okay, how much do I have to study to be better than a certain group of people?
Yeah.
Because, as I was telling you before, going to your parents is easy, right? Like, oh, so-and-so got a C, so-and-so got a D, but I got a B.
Mm-hmm.
You've literally lowered the bar so low to make yourself look so good. And then next thing comes, you go to the next school. When I went to Valentine's High School, you meet people that are so much better than you there, where they're like, I got 10 A stars in GCSE. What did you get? Oh, I got 2 A stars, and then the rest were A's, B's. Like, yeah, that's great for your old school, but now you're in this school, and all these guys are like 10 A stars. Crap. Where am I? I'm actually the bottom of the pile again. Now you have to figure out, all right, how do I climb up this ladder again? Right? Again, I have support.
Yeah.
I know who I can go to for some help to be able to say, all right, what do I do? How do I actually, go and get the grades that I need to get? But at that point as well, I was fortunate enough to have a system that was, that were actually, some people were in uni that I knew, right? And while they're at uni, they're studying different courses. They're studying things that you just don't hear about in the, in the natural, say, in natural conversation with uncles and whatnot, right? Like, your usual brown uncle is doctor, accountant, so-and-so. Like, they're in a very limited set of careers.
Yeah.
Right? They're not. I came across actuarial science in like year 10, year 11. I was like, wow, what is that?
Yeah.
Because there was just this one guy that was like, he was amazing at maths. And I was like, oh my God, what does that entail? What is it? And it was just maths and stats, basically. And it's got to do with insurance in a summary. And it was like, damn, that might be something that I want to pursue. Engineering, that might be something that I want to pursue. Although that's a bit more basic towards, uncle. But yeah, there were a lot more careers that I was able to actually look at before actually setting, okay, this is the type of courses that I want to get into. So A levels, I studied maths, further maths, physics, and media studies for AS, but I knew I wanted to do something maths related because, like, if I could drop English, in year 9 when you could drop other stuff, I would have dropped English. Like, I just did not like studying English. But I was wrong because it is very, very important. It doesn't seem like it at the time, but it's so important.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I mean, I'm not sure about literature, but I mean, the definite English as a subject. And I think, yeah, I mean, coming as professionals now, becoming older and becoming a professional, you kind of see like the grade of English it's required, summaries, reports, letters, documents. You need to have the English, otherwise you're going to be seen as somebody like, how the hell did he get that job? Huh?
Yeah, totally. Like, yeah, just preparing simple documents.
Yeah,
If you need to pass this document, it has some sort of instructions on it, right? And you're passing this on to someone else. They need to be able to understand what you're writing. Then they can't do their job. And yeah, like a certain level of English is so mandatory. But again, studying Shakespeare, I was like, why? Why am I doing this? But again, it's necessary to be able to actually evaluate a piece of text and to be able to actually say, this is why he's doing this, and to be able to pick up those critical skills, just critical thinking, you won't necessarily get if you're doing other subjects.
yeah, I agree.
And yeah, I mean, I was wrong. I mean, personally, I don't regret it, but I was wrong. I can actually go back and say to myself, no, you should do it. But it's not a regret, so to speak. But yeah, and then after A levels, I went to UCL, did mechanical engineering, because frankly, I think the grades that were required was easier to get into than other courses. And I was super, super strategic there. I was like, if I need to get AAB, I know I can get the 3 A's, or at that point, I could get an A star and the other A's. But I want to be strategic where I have a bit of leeway.
Yeah.
Right? So that was actually my insurance.
Okay.
And my firm was Imperial, but it was biomedical engineering.
Okay.
But afterwards, I was like, I don't want to be studying biology. I didn't do it for A levels. So I was like, okay, this is a whole new set. And I was scared. I was like, crap, I have to study biology. I was literally praying day and night. Hopefully, I just don't get in. Hopefully, I get a B. And I literally got a B by 1 mark, which was great. I was so happy. My mum wasn't, obviously. Clearly, she's like, how'd you get a B?
Typical.
Yeah, but all fairness to her, she was the one that was, putting in the effort. Like, I was studying, but she's the one driving me.
Yeah.
She's the one taking me, right?
Parents want to see the best.
Yeah.
You achieve the best. And
of course.
Yeah, for you rather than for them. I mean, I can't say that for all Asian parents. I mean, some of them is for them, but, I mean...
Yeah. But again, it's just recognizing that she was putting in the effort.
Yeah.
So she's like, she kind of feels that she got the B.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, her reliance on me was, no, I'm going to take him and he going to get me the A. But I didn't get her the A. So, yeah. But I was actually super happy. Now, going into uni, first time was hard. I had to start writing reports. From going A levels, I had 0 coursework, apart from media studies, but I didn't really care about media studies. Maths, further maths, physics were my subjects. They were the ones that I was focusing on. Don't have coursework. I was loving life. Like, literally, all I have to do is just practice papers and I'm good. I'm set.
Yeah.
Amazing. By the way, I got a B in physics. And yeah, like literally, I was loving life. Like after school, I had free time. Not Warzone. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2 came out at that point.
Oh, what?
I was guys, I'm old.
But no, it's still regarded as one of the best Call of Duty games. That's what it is.
I remember some guys actually skipped school because they went to, I don't know, Asda, Sainsbury's, whatever, right? One of the retailers, line up outside to actually pick up the game. I wasn't as sad as those guys. I don't know if that's sad, but I didn't, I wasn't as diehard, but yeah, I got it, and we were like literally headset playing, great, so I had time to do all of that.
Yeah.
And I still carried on playing a bit of cricket here and there. But yeah, when I came to uni, I stopped cricket. I was like, no, I need to super, super focus, because first time was just hard. I had to do reports. Like, I had to actually write things down and submit it, and that counted towards my grade.
How do you deal with that then?
I strategically got past that as well.
Okay.
Every year for us was 75% exam, 25% coursework.
Right. Okay.
Right? Apart from last year where there was dissertation, which is like 2 units, which is like pretty much a quarter of your year, and design, which was another, did I say, yeah, like another like quarter. So they are their own story, but I realized, okay, even if I get a C and I smash my exams, I've been fortunate. I've been good at exams.
Yeah.
I can cram. I can retain that knowledge. Brain dump. Forget.
Yeah.
Not saying that that's good for everyone. Don't follow my lead on that. I've just been good at that. If you recognize you're good at it, use it.
Yeah.
Right? As I go back to that previous point, you just need to recognize, how best you can achieve the best grade with minimal effort.
Yeah.
So if you recognize that, okay, I want an A, and it's going to take me 10 hours to study, just study that 10 hours. Right? But if it takes you 5 hours, you study 5 hours. Right? At the end of the day, you get an A, I get an A, we're both happy. Right?
Yeah.
Although we had to study different hours, but it just is what it is, right? So I told myself, okay, look, either I'll focus. If I knew the exam was going to be hard in a certain topic, focus on a bit of the coursework there, so I bring up a bit of my marks, and to be able to say, okay, because university marks were average, right? So if you get, say, one module, you get 60, but then other module, you get 80, overall you got 70, right?
Yeah.
That's what I did. I went for 65, 75. Or no, mine was 65, 85, 4.
Yeah.
Because we were 8 modules. So I would say, okay, I'll get 85 in these 4 modules, 65 in these 4. I'm good. I'm 75. That's a first. That's a comfortable first. Even if I drop a bit, 73, 72, that's still comfortably in, right?
Yeah.
So I was always strategic in the way I studied. And I was able to pick up patterns in exam papers. I was able to pick up, okay, this question might not come. Don't study that. And we had options in question papers as well. Out of 8 questions, you do 6.
Okay.
Right? No, you do 5. Sorry, you do 5. And it was split into section A and B. So A was 4 questions, B was 4 questions. I would study 3 questions from both sections. So you only have to do 3 and 2, right?
Yeah.
Or you can do 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So if I'm studying 3 questions, I have leeway to avoid 1 question anyway. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And each question was 20 marks. If I answer, 3.5 questions, I'm already on a 70.
Yeah.
If I've answered all 5 correctly, that's a good 100%. They never give you 100%, but they'll cut marks somewhere.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I was able to actually find, okay, where can I find my marks? Where can I actually, scavenge for things with minimal effort? Yeah, man. TV shows were life at that point as well.
Were they?
Oh, man. Amazing at that point. I could binge watch things all night, go to lectures, come back, sleep, repeat.
Sounds like the life. I mean, sounds like a first year. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
if you want,
Can't do that anymore. I need
Try-
8 hours of sleep, man.
Yes, you can get 8 hours sleep sometimes. I rarely get 8 hours of sleep anymore. And I'm doing nothing at home.
Some things just come up. I've got a baby, and
Right.
like
We'll talk about that soon.
Yeah.
We'll talk about your baby soon. Right. So we just wanted to take a step back and go back to obviously you getting into UCL.
Yeah.
One of the best universities in the UK and in the world. You know, it's up there with obviously, you know, you got your Cambridge, you got your Oxford, you got University of Edinburgh, you've got University of Liverpool, I think they're up there as well. Then you've got UCL, then you've got the Imperial, then you've got the
LSE,
That's it. When I was thinking of LSE, yeah. So how did that
Warwick. Yeah, it felt great, and at that point, again, that ego comes back.
feel? Yeah,
When you get in, I don't know. For me, that ego comes back, and you're like, I'm creme de la creme. These guys want to come and hire me. Like, Google, Facebook, come to me. Like, you guys need me. Banks, line up. I'll give you an autograph when I feel like it. Yeah, you're so wrong. Reality hits you so fast. As I said, first term at uni, just to come to terms with, one, you're not the best in your class.
yeah,
The guys that are, like, a lot of my class was, China, Singapore, Malaysia. There were a few guys from here as well. Lebanese population was quite high. Basically all over,
yeah.
right? All over the world. But a lot of it was Asian. Can you keep up with the Asians? I couldn't.
No.
They incredibly smart.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. I mean, I studied. I mean, we say Asian, even like even being a Pakistani abroad. Now, I studied 2 years. The level of work ethic out there is different. I think we take it for granted here.
Yep.
They have to pay for a lot of it. If they have to have a good school, they got to pay for it. I remember I was in a grammar school. I had to pay for that over there. You know, we had to pay for obviously our tutors on top of that. You know, it's additional cost of what's already an expensive cost. They've got to do the same. I mean, yeah, some of them might have free education as well. But I think out there they really stress on the level of education, whereas we take it for granted. We you know, it's free for us. We go in and, you know, I mean, look at all the shithousery that happens in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at all the kids that you see in class. Some of them, you look at them and they actually never take the education seriously. I mean, we're talking about the kids at the back of the class causing all the trouble, causing all the ruckus, and you're like, sometimes you're thinking like, "Bob, do you guys not want an education?"
But half the time, the backbenchers are actually the guys that know it. Half the time as well, like
I agree, they're getting bored.
they're getting bored.
They're getting bored.
Like literally, but 110% agree with your point though, because you don't see what you're losing, right?
Yeah,
If you're back home, if you're in Pakistan, you see your parents are actually saving every rupee
yeah,
for you to go to school. Like literally, if someone's earning, I don't know, as an example, right? 50,000 rupees a month. That's £250 a month, right?
yeah,
And their kids, their kids' school fees is give or take 10,000 rupees. That's 20% of their salary just gone on one kid's school fees. They still have to eat. They still have to pay rent. They still have to clean their house. They have to do everything else, right? The wages don't go up, right? So these kids recognize early on, obviously there's many, many barriers for them,
yeah, 100%.
right? Obviously the wealthier people in Pakistan do have the better opportunities, of course. And that's here too, right? A private school kid is obviously going to have better opportunities than a state school kid. 110%.
Yeah,
Right? Because maybe they recognize it, but because your environment is set up that way. And that's when I go back to the point where in a state school, it's so much easier to be the best in the class, right? No ego there. no, like, there's no overconfidence in saying, oh, yeah, I was the best in my class for a certain subject. Yeah, you might be. But when you look at a private school, are you the best in that class? That's where the competition comes in.
So you were competitive.
Very much. I had to. If someone's better than me, why are they better than me?
Mm-hmm.
Not in a jealous way. Not like jealous girlfriend, like, oh, I'm going to follow you and tell me why you're better than me. It's like, where am I going wrong? And how do I better myself to be like, I'm going to, I'm going to beat this guy. Not to his detriment, not be like, oh, I hope he gets an F. We both get A's. But I still want that extra mark. I want to get that one more mark than him. Why? Because I think it's like seeing if football team A is playing football team B, I don't want to start this debate, right? Football team A wins, right?
Yeah.
The supporters are going to be like, B, come back. You need to win.
Yeah.
It's just like that. It's just that passion to be like, no, I'm going to be better.
Okay.
Right? No jealousy in the sense that I want you to fail. I want you to do better, so I do better.
Has money been a motivation for you while you've been going up through the educations, going through obviously school and everything like that? Or is is that what motivated you? What was it that motivated you through this time period of going through like the best university, getting into the best university, one of the best universities, and then completing it as well?
Money is a factor, but not the main factor.
Okay.
And when people say money doesn't buy you happiness, blah blah blah, I'm not saying it does, but it makes things easy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying, money isn't gonna make you happy, blah blah. It does make you happy slightly because it makes your life easier.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There needs to be a mental understanding of what money can do for you as well.
Yeah.
Right? If you're brought up in a way, right? Back when I was growing up until the age of 18, my shirts, trousers, my whole school uniform and my clothes, for the most part, were from Asda.
Yeah.
Right? I was wearing Asda clothes. Did I want to continue doing that for the rest of my life? No. Right? There's no wrong in saying you don't want to be dressing in Asda clothes.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong in wearing Asda clothes either.
100%.
Right? Recognizing that I don't want to be doing it, but if you do it, I don't dislike you for doing that. I think that's the thing. Again, going back to egos.
Yeah.
Right? You can't have an ego because you're wearing so-and-so. Your trainers are so-and-so. People need to respect each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But yes, money was a slight factor. That's why I chose banking as my first job. Because I knew that if I go into banking, life is slightly tougher than other places, but you get paid more.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm going to be working from 9 o'clock to, say, 7, 9 to 8, I'd rather get paid for it. I mean, work is work at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So I would rather be paid in a way that, rewards my work, rewards my time,
Mm-hmm.
right? And ultimately, how much do you value your own time?
Yeah.
Right? If you can say, I want, 50 grand on the table for my yearly salary. That's how much you value yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And frankly, I did. And that's why I chose to go into banking. I was studying engineering, right?
Yeah.
Engineering, I went to an interview for Airbus in Bristol, Filton, right? It's on the outskirts of Bristol. It was pretty much like now, cold. Wasn't snowing, but just cold. Very, very cold. And I get there. The only food place open 11 o'clock at night was McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
Ate that. bro, like literally no color to be seen, right? I obviously growing up in London, you see color, right? You see, as I said, I was brought up in East London, color. Go to uni, my class was majority like Indian, Chinese, Malaysian, Singaporean. Like it was a whole mixed bag.
Yeah.
Boom, on the outskirts of Bristol, fully like fully white. And I go to the interview. Again, there were brown people there and stuff as well, but outside, like the life there just did not seem appealing.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, okay, I want to stay in London. I'm not gonna, like I'll find something that I can do in London,
Hmm.
and banking was the way forward.
So you obviously finished your degree in mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
Then that transition over into banking. Did you have to study somewhere else for that, or is it?
So again, there's a story for that. So at the end of A levels,
Yeah.
I've been very, very fortunate with, one of my dad's friends worked at Citibank at that time, right? In Canary Wharf. And I literally went up to him and said, hey, is it possible for me to, get some sort of work experience?
Hmm.
And he was kind enough to do that. He was like, hey, sure. Let me speak to someone, send me a CV. I didn't even know what a CV was at that point. Like I knew what a CV was, but it was just literally, I didn't know how they should be written or whatever. I literally just put sentences together. Here you go. Looked crap. It was awful. But again, fortunate, right? Like I've been lucky in the people that I've known to be able to actually have some sort of vision, to be able to actually see what I can do next, right? So then, because I'd had that experience, I was like, okay, if engineering isn't the thing, I've done this before, looked pretty cool. I was watching Suits at the time as well, right? Oh, you get to wear a nice suit, tie, this, that, slick back hair. Oh, great. Um, that's not what life is like, but you know, it looks it looks amazing. So yeah, I chose banking. So then I actually applied for masters. I'd so I had two offers for my masters. I had a offer from Oxford to do mathematical modeling and scientific computing,
Okay.
right? So that was in the math side of things. It was like pure math and actually writing code. Because I'd done coding within engineering, like you learn how to code.
Okay.
And I had risk management and financial engineering at Imperial. Now, what did I want to do? I wanted to go into banking, right? Oxford and Imperial, if I was to compare the price, right, you have to pay out of your own pocket, right?
Yeah.
And I'd been working for about 4 or 5 years before that. I was tutoring during uni as well. So I had some money saved up. And obviously, you parents help, family, this, that, right? You get help and support from other people as well. So if I went to Imperial, costs X. If I go to Oxford, it's, I would say, literally a sixth of X. Like literally, it was cheap, right?
Yeah.
But then living costs,
Yeah.
food, not having the tutoring job
Yeah.
while you're working or while you're studying. If I actually compare the two, Oxford was actually more expensive,
Yeah.
right? So, and I knew I wanted to get into banking. So, which course is pointing me towards banking? Went for Imperial. I was like, okay, fine. It's a one off cost that's like, boom, okay, take it. But in the long run, it's works out much more efficient.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did that. Met amazing people there. UCL, again, amazing people. One of my closest, like a lot of my closest friends are from UCL as well, right? obviously you have your home group, but then like a lot of my friends are from UCL, and then again Imperial. Great guys. Found a really great bunch of people. Super, super smart. And like, and very, very talented, right? Looking at their background, where are they from? Again, you're back to ground level again. I came from engineering. Now I'm learning about finance. Crap. Go through that whole process again. But you learn to leverage people. Okay, how do I take knowledge from this person? How do I take knowledge from this person? Combine it. That makes me.
Yeah.
Take from him. Makes me. That's what I learned by studying at different places. I've been so lucky in every phase where I've made really, really good friends. Where at UCL, I was the guy that was able to get coursework from a lot of people. And then because I had a lot of people's coursework, people gave me more course. I could help, right? I could be like, okay, there you go. I've been able to do this. Take it. Right?
Yeah.
If you help, people help.
100%.
Right? And that definitely translates into when you're working.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because yeah, you just need to be able to recognize that people will only help you if you're able to help them. And once you help them enough times, they won't ask you back for help because it's not that one-to-one relationship anymore. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this person's helped me. He'll help me again. And vice versa. If someone's like, yeah, I'll do this for you. Don't worry about it. I'll do this for you. Don't worry about it. If they come to me again, cool, no problem. Like, I'll do it because I know that they'll do something else for me afterwards. And that's what I love about just working with people, which is amazing.
So, right. So you've done your mechanical engineering. You've done your whatever course that's all about.
It was massive name.
Yeah, massive name over at Imperial.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know Imperial's a stance in the academic community as well. I mean, there's only a handful of universities in the world that are better than them as well. So you managed to obviously get through your GCSEs, get to the best, get into your A levels, then one of the best universities for an undergrad, and then postgrad, one of the best universities again. I mean, it goes hand in hand. I do know how expensive Oxford is. I got a friend that is actually studying there, or actually working and studying, doing his PhD as well there now.
Wow.
And
I couldn't do a PhD.
I mean, I need to do a podcast on him because, alhamdulillah, man, he went through brain tumor at university as well, and then to recover, not entirely, but enough that now he's at Oxford University doing his PhD. I mean,
man, that's props. That's amazing.
Yeah, I should get him on. I should get him on. But back to you though. So, just going off on a tangent there.
Man, that's been me the whole time.
I mean, I've not had to do much talking this time. I mean, last week I had to talk. I'm just like, yeah, well, I'm listening, I'm learning. I mean, we've already known each other for 3 years, so obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, it's very, we'll get to how we know each other as well.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, and honestly, the best time of my life. Nothing romantically, but just.
I mean, it could have been, but
I mean, we're that close. I mean, more context to that later.
Yeah.
So
that's when it gets all explicit.
Oh no! Astaghfirullah. Anyway, where did you work after Imperial? What job did you get? Where did you work?
Okay, so Imperial.
Yeah.
I joined in September 2014.
Yep.
November 2014, I managed to secure a graduate role at Deutsche Bank.
Okay.
Right? Before that, I had been applying, again, in the mindset that I'm creme de la creme. Oh, yeah, you guys need me. Get rejected.
Yeah.
Get rejected. But by the last bit, again, a lot of the job applications, right? There's a way to write it. You need to figure out what works for you. It worked. Go to the interview. It worked. You click. A lot of it is luck, for sure, right? Because someone that could be equally as good just get rejected. One of my friends, right? Closest friends. Me and him did UCL together, and we were doing our masters together. Like, I'm saying, literally, I met him first day UCL, and we graduated Imperial together. Right? So, like that.
Yeah.
Me and him were in Deutsche Bank interview together. First round interview. We were in the same room, sitting next to each other, talking to each other, discussing, okay, doing mock interviews to each other in the room before we went into the interview. Mine was first, and then he was second.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, like, not in the day, but we had to come in at about 8:30 or 9 o'clock, right? Mine was at, say, about 10. His one was 10:30. I managed to click with the guys. He didn't. I still, to this day, I don't know. But alhamdulillah, he's doing a really, really cool job at Deloitte. But it's luck, right? We study the same thing. We have the same experiences,
Mm-hmm.
right? Of uni and so on. But why do I get the job and he doesn't? Right? I don't know. It's luck, right? It definitely is. It's probably how you communicate. Do you click with the person in front of you or not?
Yeah.
Right? But again, I could have not clicked with that guy and he could have.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean, like that luck aspect, right?
Mm.
So, and to be fair, before going in, I was like, bro, these are the things they asked me.
Mm-hmm.
It went great. So, when it went good for me, I was like, bro, this is all you have to say. And I told him everything that they asked me. I didn't tell him what I answered. I said, this is how I answered. So, because if I told him what I answered, he would have been just like so stuck in that frame of mind and
Yeah.
not be able to think outside that box. So I was like, this is what they asked. This is how I went about it. Just think about it. Just
Mm.
just have a bit of an idea what they might ask you. And literally that's how it went. But I don't know. I don't know why he didn't get it and why I did. And similarly, why I was getting rejected for 3 years. But I got lucky, got the job. And yeah, I started in the market risk department there. I like to code. I like maths. And yeah, I was I am very interested in the markets. I'm not going to sell any FX trading tips to anyone. But yeah, I was on the FX trading side of things. I was in the market risk team for FX at DB for about 4 years. Yeah, so the first year was a graduate program where you rotate across teams. The FX team was my final rotation, and then I stayed on for another 3 years. And after that, I moved to a consultancy where we advised private equity funds on their market risk, their FX risk. So what I mean by that is, for layman terms, if said investor buys say, I'm based here, or say Qasim, for example's sake, right? Qasim is this person who works at a private equity fund or a real estate fund because it's a bit easier to understand. And you say, I'm going to buy a building in Holland,
Yeah.
right? And this building is, I don't know, 50 million euros, right? But you're based here, right? So how you earn in sterling,
Yeah.
right? Pounds. Now you have risk in between the time that you say, okay, I'm going to pay you 50 million euros,
Mm-hmm.
but up until you actually close the deal or you make the payment, that 50 million euros can fluctuate in pounds, right?
Right. Yeah.
It can be 46 one day, it could be 40 the other day, it could be 48. You get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it can fluctuate. And that's what we help protect,
Okay.
right? And that was throughout the life cycle of the fund,
Mm.
which was really cool. It was great problems to solve, but it became very stagnant. It became very narrow viewed for my liking,
Okay.
right? And that's why I went. The next job that I got and actually started in August is at a startup, or more of a growth cycle company, as a data analyst. As I said, coding is fun for me. I enjoy problem solving, and yeah, like just being able to solve a problem. And goes back to the first question: what do you define as success? Right? Happiness.
Mm.
And when you solve a problem, I get happy.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, ah, damn, this is so cool. I'm a nerd at heart. Like, I love to solve a problem. Like, you know, sometimes you get headphones and they're tangled in your pocket. I can't sleep before I untangle them.
Yeah.
I'm just weird.
I mean, yeah. I mean, just before we started, you were trying to deal with the wiring over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like it's yeah, it annoys me. That's why I'm not looking there. I'm looking at you.
All right. Carry on.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I like to solve a problem. I like to. Yeah. When there's a problem, there is going to be a solution. It might not be the most elegant solution, but there is a solution. And I would like to actually find what is that solution? How can I make things just a bit better?
Mm-hmm.
And again, it goes back to legacy. If you're able to solve many problems, you're able to leave behind a trail of, Latif did this. Yeah, Latif did this as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when there's a lot of Latif did this, Latif did this, it makes you feel like, you know what? Yeah, I did do that. And when people recognize that you did that, it just brings about I managed to help in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Right. And that, I think, is the ultimate success, right? Money, you can't take it to your grave, right? You
Yeah.
die, you ain't taking money.
Nope.
You ain't taking your watch. You ain't taking your car. You're not taking your house, right? You can't even have your grave in your house. Like, you ain't taking your house. I mean, if you decide to, but your kids aren't gonna love that, are they? But yeah, you can't take anything. But what can you leave behind? You can leave all of that behind, but that's going to be someone else's thing,
Yeah. 100%.
right? That money isn't, oh yeah, this is Latif's money. No, it's your kid's money, or it's your wife's money, or it's your parents' money, whoever, right? It's their money,
Yeah.
right? But still, that problem that you solved right there, still, Latif solved that problem,
Mm.
right? If you're able to solve that many problems and you're able to actually, you're able to not monetize it, but you're able to actually put your stamp on a lot of things, people will remember that. And I think that's what success is. But again, everyone's success is subjective. This is my way of defining a way that I will feel accomplished in a certain way.
Yeah. See, that's your understanding of success. I mean,
That is my
yeah,
understanding of success.
And again, I mean, this is the whole point of this podcast: is to see your story, and then keep looking at what made you happy, you know. And obviously, I'm hearing this whole thing of you solving problems, you just wanting to obviously. I mean, it's different for everyone else. Some people just been money, 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 but yours seems to be a bit more intrinsic, a bit more, just your personal, like just trying to find out. And obviously, I think with anyone and anything, everyone wants to leave a legacy behind, a memory of them behind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So obviously, you've started at this boutique now. So, sorry, as a data analyst, is that what you're doing now, or is it?
Yes, that is what I'm doing now. Yeah, really, really enjoying it because it's a product that, excuse me, it's a product that I actually believe in the sense that when I was working in banking, right, I saw there was so many inefficiencies,
Yeah.
right? So many inefficiencies. And, yeah, I was like, everything can actually be removed and be put into one platform.
Yeah.
And when I was having, just, disagreements in my old place where it was like, I don't agree with a lot of the things that are happening. This job out of the blue popped up, right? Like literally out of the blue. And I was like, I believe everything that they've written. Or the job spec was amazing. It was like, this defines me. can you do Python? Yes. Can you do SQL? Yes. Do you like to solve problems? Yes. Do you like to do, do you like to take ownership? Yes. Do you want, are you a self-starter? Da, da, da. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Great. And also I read the summary of what the product is. It's a core banking platform, but online. It's cloud-based,
Yeah.
which is, as I said, inefficiencies are taken out. When it's a cloud-based platform, it's so much easier to manage. It's, you don't have all those things that you have to, you have to go through this person, that whole bureaucracy is finished. Because you can pinpoint where the issue is, fix it. So that's why I was like, and then I reached out to the CEO. I literally emailed him. I was like, hey, I like the product. I like the role. What do I have to do to get in? Literally, it was like that.
Okay.
And 2 weeks later, cool, you're in. Like 3 interviews, but obviously, like, you have to vet the person.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, like, literally, I reached out, said, hey, literally to the CEO, like, hey, can I, I like this. Can I interview? Can I speak to someone so I get more information? And he was like, yeah, just literally send me a CV. I'll ping over a few names, or I'll, tell someone to actually reach out to you. Great. 2 weeks later, got the job.
Luck. Luck?
Luck?
Was it luck? You think
I think it was luck.
Yeah.
I mean, if it didn't pop up in front of me,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have done any of it.
exactly.
You do create your own luck, right? By doing the right things beforehand,
Yeah.
right? Having the right skills beforehand was creating that luck,
Okay.
right? But it popping up at the right time, that's Allah. That's it.
Yeah.
It's qadr. Like,
It's qadr. It's qadr. So the will of Allah, yes.
It is. It is. Right? Up until 3 months before I left the old job, I was happy. I was like, yeah, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or at least foreseeable future.
Yeah.
One day, disagreement. Da-da-da-da-da. Not disagreement in the sense that, oh, I hate these guys. Blah, blah, blah. Just disagreement in the sense that I don't know if I want to work here anymore. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is the thing that I want to continue with. I was constantly making PowerPoint presentations. I'm not really solving anyone's problem. I'm just making a PowerPoint. A monkey can make a PowerPoint. At least that's for me. Like, I don't want to be just, change the font here, change the color here. Like, that's just not.
One more.
Yeah, I just couldn't seem to get that into my head. Like, okay, no, I don't want to be doing this. And then at that point, I think Ramadan had just finished. I'm talking like around May, June time last year. Yeah, around May, June time.
Mm-hmm.
So this was happening around May, June time. Also, I was like, I'm working silly hours in the sense that, it was actually a lot longer hours, not the 9 to 7 that I was saying before. It was longer than that. And lockdown had started, 3-4 months in to lockdown, just generally feeling down, upset. And also, having a baby. She was in the region of around 7-8 months at this point now as well. So really moving and like knows what she wants. Like, no, if I'm sitting with you, I'm sitting with you. If I'm hitting your keyboard, I'm hitting your keyboard. Like, there's no way about it. It's like, how can I do what I really want to do, right?
Yeah.
Not be sad about what I want to do. Because if you're sad at work, that sadness or that frustration comes out at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want that. being frustrated or stressed, like, oh crap, I had a crap day at work, right? Who's that frustration going to come out on? Your wife and your kids,
Yeah, exactly.
right? You can't tell your mum and dad off, right? You'll get knocked out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, even if you have a boxing match with your dad, like, you're not really going to punch him now.
Yeah, exactly.
Your dad will punch you, but you can't punch him. So, you know what I mean? Like, or your younger siblings might see the brunt of it as well. Like, shut up, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what's going to happen. So yeah, I don't want that. And that's where that bit came in, where I find the job. 3 weeks later, I'm like, tata, bye bye, I'm going. And oh man, the sigh of relief. You know that breath that you just take? Like literally for 2 minutes, you're just sitting there and it's just like, alhamdulillah. Like, that's it. I'm so relaxed. I still remember it. And like, even when I speak to some of my old colleagues who I call friends, right? And I tell them that that's how I felt. They're like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were really cool with, yeah, go do what you got to do. You enjoy this more. Do it.
That's fine. Yeah, and the thing is, if you're really gonna, let's say, do something that you're gonna enjoy,
Absolutely.
you don't want to be in a career where all you do is feel miserable, and then again, because it's not just gonna affect you, it's gonna affect the people around you as well. Especially because you're spending more time at work than you do at home.
Oh, massively.
Yeah. So obviously, that time that you want to have at home, you don't want to have that same feeling at work from work.
Yeah.
Bring it straight home and then ruin the mood of others.
And especially right now, you don't even get that time to actually wind down.
Yep.
Because literally, office to home is one door. And that door is penetrated many times during the day.
Yeah.
My wife will step in. My mum will step in. My daughter run in. Like, literally, no barriers.
So you're working from home now?
I'm working from home for the last year. And yeah, sometimes it's like, when you're on a call, I'll be like, I'm on a call. Leave me alone. And then they'll be like, oh, okay. Bye. It's like, you didn't need to continue. Just leave. Yeah. So, but it is what it is. It's fun. You definitely get that time to spend with your family that you necessarily didn't have.
Yeah.
But also, the time that you got to wind down, that space between home and work.
Yeah.
Where you're just either on the tube or in the car or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Headphones in, or you're playing something, or you're listening to something, podcast, music, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're not actually listening to any of it, but you're more just letting your thoughts out. You're just winding down to start something else. You don't get that time, which I personally hated, the commute time. But you actually come to appreciate it when you work from home every day, where it's just like, this is your time. Like, no one's in your space in this time.
Yeah.
Like, at times I would purposely avoid making eye contact with friends on the station so I have that me time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want my headphones in. I just want to, I want to take a nap.
Yeah.
Right? I just literally want to close my eyes, sit down on a seat, and just not look at anyone or talk to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Some days I'll be happy to talk. But, yeah, some days, no, I didn't see you there, bro. Like, just don't talk to me, please. And then sometimes you get a tap on your shoulder and, hi. Yeah.
Okay, so you're working at home now. You mentioned COVID and little segment that we not a little segment, but a little bit of a let's have a little bit of talk about COVID, right? And obviously, I want to talk about in any of my podcasts or any discussion I have, I'm always going to relate it back to mental health as well, because mental health being a big thing, especially as I'm interviewing another man, a man interviewing another man. We know that mental health amongst men is somewhat under talked about.
Yep.
It's apparently the statistics are that men suffer from mental health more than women do, and the suicide rates of mental health for men are a lot higher than women.
Wow.
And
Men are too
because
busy being manly.
men are too busy being manly, and obviously, you know, it is something that's instilled of us. The typical thing is we're the breadwinner, you know, breadwinners. So, you know,
And that's what you're taught.
yeah, that's what you're taught, and you know, you're taught to be tough. If you were lucky enough to be
Yeah.
taught to be tough and were able to be tough, and just, I think we learned that, you know, we looked at, you know, you look. I think that, do you ever remember seeing your father cry, or do you ever remember seeing your father have a breakdown? Do you ever see your father have a talk about, you know, how he feels? You never saw that.
No,
So I think
and
you kind of absorb that and think, all right, us talking about our feelings, it's not a manly thing to do.
and
It's
also
not.
like, sorry, I'm interrupting, but man up.
Man up.
Yeah, just man up,
up.
bro.
I mean, you know, like I said, you know, I've been through the, you know, the shit storms as well, you know, throughout my whole life, and for a lot of it, I had to stay quiet. I mean, I only opened out last year, about, you know, what I'd recently been going through, but that was only after seeing a lot of other people do it, and I think, you know, and I think it's a male perception, a male bravado to say that if we open up, we seem weak, you know,
Vulnerable.
vulnerable,
Yeah.
vulnerable. That's the word, yeah, vulnerable. And you know, we, as men, we don't like to feel vulnerable. We like to feel like we've got control of everything and anything.
Of course.
So, and I think obviously we're coming into COVID. COVID is something that we never expected.
Nope.
It's had a major effect. I mean, especially for breadwinners who are no longer at work or at home.
Yeah.
They don't get that space away. You know, they don't get that. Maybe they may, you know, some people may not feel like they're getting the space. Some people not employed anymore. People that rely on being, you know, those people rely on going out. This is for extroverts. It's been even worse. Introverts are loving it.
Yeah, I'd classify myself as the introvert type.
Oh, so okay. So, you know, I was speaking to Daniel Khan, obviously, who was in last week. We're both the same. We're very extrovert. We love going out. We don't like staying at home. So let's talk about COVID and your mental state of mind and how. Oh, you're saying you're introvert. Did you thrive off of it, or were there moments where you thought, right, I can't handle it?
It's a bit of both,
Okay.
right? So, as I mentioned a few times, baby, right? Literally, by being at home, I've been able to see everything.
Yeah.
Right? Usually parents or dads in general don't get to see that growth in the first year. Or just in years general. Like, you get to see them for an hour after work, you know, baby's asleep by the time you get home or whatever, right? But, like, literally, she wakes up in front of me, goes to sleep in front of me. If I want to take a break, I can go upstairs, play with her, come back down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's been a massive advantage. Like, I cannot be more thankful for that.
Yeah.
Right? That's amazing. Right? COVID itself is horrible, but it's been amazing for me.
Yeah.
In that sense. Right? Other aspect. I live with family. Right? So it's not as lonely as it would be for other people, and I can totally sympathize with other people for being lonely, right? We usually had a group of friends that would come over all the time, but that's not happening.
Yeah.
Right? You can't literally just, you know, say you've got a friend, right? Call him and be like, hey, I'm just coming to your house. Let's grab pizza. That's not happening. Oh, that's not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening.
But
Can no confirm or deny anything that's ever happening, but you know.
exactly, I plead the fifth. Fifth, if I'm in America, but you know, yeah. So it does get lonely. It does get like, yes, but everyone's up in everyone's space as well.
Yeah.
In the sense that everyone you're living with is literally up in your face.
Yeah.
I've never been with my wife for this long. You know, like, I need my space at times as well. And that goes back to the between work, between home. You have that space where it's just like, it's just you, your thoughts, your headphones. That's it. But, you know, on the whole, like, I can totally understand why people are feeling upset. Dude, if you lose your job, right, and you're paying rent, you don't live with anyone, you're literally just in your thoughts the whole time, thinking about, where am I making my next set of, where am I making money from?
Mm-hmm.
Right? But you can't go out because you can't work.
Yeah.
But then you can't earn. You have to pay your rent. Where am I going to get my next paycheck from? That spiral. And literally, if you go down that spiral, it's hard getting back out. It's hard getting back out. Alhamdulillah, I've been fortunate for, in not ever going through something like that. But I can totally understand if someone does go through that, it is hard. And it would be extremely painful. I know this might be triggering people up the wrong way, because I'm speaking on behalf of someone who's gone through it, but I've never done it. But I can totally sympathize how bad it can be. Not to the extent that it would be, but I can actually be like, yeah, no, I can understand.
Yeah.
But and I think the best way is, from what I hear, is to speak about it.
Yeah.
But then it's finding the people that you can actually trust.
Yeah.
Who do you trust? Because you've not seen anyone for 6 months.
Exactly.
How can I trust him
Mm-hmm.
or her? But yeah, again, it's that spiral, right?
Yeah.
How can I trust him or her? You're going down this spiral again. Oh, I should tell them. I shouldn't. I don't trust them. I do. No. You're literally fighting with yourself the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a funk that you need to get out of. It's hard.
So, okay, so you've kind of like, obviously, and we're not obviously just, it's nothing like boasting about it, but some people obviously saying that you're obviously intrinsic as well. You've got, it was introvert, sorry, intrinsic,
Yeah.
almost same. But yeah.
Thereabouts.
Yeah, thereabouts, yeah. See, my English is not coming up to scratch. Read a dictionary after this. A thesaurus. I'll struggle to read a thesaurus. Anyway,
I can't even pronounce it.
thesaurus.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously, you've kind of benefited. I think obviously having a daughter as well has benefited.
Distracting.
Distracted.
Very distracting.
Obviously, it'd be a lot different if you didn't have your daughter.
For sure.
I think you wouldn't have that time spent with your daughter. It'd be a void for you. That time you wouldn't know what you'd be doing at that time.
That, as well as I think everyone would be in everyone's space even more.
Yeah.
Right now, you can be like, yeah, I'm just dealing with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a point of conversation for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, take a look at her. She's running. She's going up the stairs. Go, grab her. You know what I mean? Everyone's just distracted and like literally focusing on her.
Mm.
But if she wasn't about, different story.
Did you suffer any mental health issues? Was it issues? Because I don't want to say it's an issue as something bad, but but I say it's an issue because it's recognized as an issue in terms of the spectrum of mental health. Did you feel anything like that? You were going through anything such as that when you were going through university? Or were you fortunate? I mean, there's nothing wrong saying that you were fortunate. I mean,
Yeah, not that I remember.
Yeah.
I think I've been very, very fortunate.
Yep.
And I think it just stems from the fact that I've had an attitude where if I don't die, or if I'm not going to die, or if nobody's going to die, it doesn't need to be done so urgently. Like, nothing's that urgent to be done.
yeah,
And studies is generally like, oh, deadline. Yeah, you have a deadline, start a bit earlier. I have the tendency to start something on the day I get it,
yeah,
right? Not like, oh, deadline is in 2 weeks, I'll start it in 1 week. I'll probably be like, okay, I'll start it today, so I have something there, mentally I'm ready.
mm-hmm.
So that's why I never really experienced it. Yes, I've been down. When I was like, okay, I need to leave this job, I wouldn't say it was depression or anything in that spectrum, but in your own mind, you're like, I need to get out. I feel bad. Like you feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
Again, nothing to do with people. It's just me, myself. I just need to get out of it. What was the best way to do? Okay, I'm leaving. But to be able to do that, I had the other job come up right in time to be able to say, yeah, I'm leaving. You get what I mean? So I have definitely been very, very fortunate the most to, not have gone through these things as much as, other people do go through. But again, I like to also say I'm not very active on social media. I have accounts.
Yeah.
But I don't use them much. I use to go through stories or, just like I follow things that I enjoy watching. I don't, and if I watch something, I'll probably remember a lot of it as well. Like, like the conversation we were having in the car.
Yeah, let's
right?
not repeat that. But
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I mean? Like, you posted something, I remembered it, and you're like, oh, what? You've been stalking me. It's like, no, I just remembered. Like, you posted something. So, yeah. And I like to view rather than post. And I think when people have the expectation to post and do that, you're within a certain spectrum of, people are seeing a lot more of you.
Yeah.
Right? And that opens up a whole avenue of celebrity culture type thing as well.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is I was actually reading an article yesterday on, sad to say it, but Britney Spears, right? And how journalism in, early 2000s, I think that was the time frame, was really, really just difficult for celebrities, especially female celebrities, like the teen icons that were like, growing up, because they were perceived to be, a certain type of person.
Yeah.
Especially the girls rather than boys.
Yeah.
Because, people are always going to have that bias, like amongst the sexes. It just is what it is. Like, so, no one hate me for saying this, but you get what I mean? Like, and they were like, Britney Spears was just, looked at in a very, very different way. Like, she was supposed to engage in relationships after she got married, but she didn't. She was in a relationship, and her image just went, just volatile, right? And she had issues afterwards. And I think I relate that to now what's happening is Instagram, Twitter, started with Facebook, but Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, going live, Reels, XYZ, right? People are more in front of other people and other people that they don't know. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Before you could post things, but for your friends. Your friends aren't going to judge you because they know you.
Yeah.
Random Joe on the side there or random Abdul over there, they don't know Qasim, right? And if they don't know Qasim, they're going to judge Qasim, right? By like, oh yeah, Qasim posted this. Let's just put a hate comment out there.
Yeah.
And that definitely fuels a lot of things. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
That will fuel a lot of things. A lot of hate.
Okay, so we've talked about, obviously, mental health. Before we just track back, I'm going to track back one more time to, obviously, your education and working and, obviously, going to university. You said that it was very multicultural. You've come from a multicultural background.
Yep.
But when you were working at DB, for example, did that change, or were you, like you said, you saw when you went to, obviously, Bristol for Airbus?
Yeah.
There was no color, right? So I explain something now. So obviously, I've been working where I work, and I work at an airport. I'm not going to mention the name of the airport at the moment, but just I remember working there, and just working amongst the regular people, being in one of the most multicultural areas in London as well. We're not far from Hayes, Southall. A lot of the workforce is from BAME areas, minorities.
Of course.
Right? BAMEs outnumber obviously, non-BAMEs. I would say that,
Yeah.
you know. But I remember that's just in the general workforce. But then we have a building where it's all like the office workers. We were talking about those with those with degrees that have taken it further. Your
Yeah.
accountants, your PR, your media, your operations center, right? So it's a bit off-site rather than at the airport itself, right? I remember going in there, and I just see a sea of white people. I mean, I struggle to see one black, one ethnic minority, one brown person, anyone, even white Chinese. I didn't see it, right? Go to the canteen, right? And I said, have you got, bear this in mind, that every other terminal that I've worked at has halal food,
Yeah.
right?
Of course.
I mean, I say there's one terminal is, doesn't have as much, but you know what I mean? I've
Yeah.
gone there and I'm looking around, and I've actually spoken to the chefs. I was like, is there any halal food? And everyone knows I'm a massive foodie. I get very passionate when it comes to food. And I was like, is there any halal food? No, but we may have kosher once a week. And I'm like, okay, halal and kosher work together hand in hand. You can have kosher if they're, it's still permissible.
Yeah.
I mean, some people argue that, but it is what it is. You can have it, so yeah. Well, let's not have
Just
it.
take your treats, man.
Take your treats. If you're allowed kosher, you're allowed kosher. All right, we're allowed kosher. Anyway, I spent 2 weeks there. Not once was it halal food. Right.
Ouch. Ouch.
I'm there eating, and I hate pasta. I do not like pasta. I've got this grievance against pasta, right? I don't know why. Pasta does not do it for me.
I like pasta, man.
I don't know. It just feels like it just makes me feel really crap after eating it. Anyway, so I'm there like, obviously, it's a sea of white people. How, obviously, I understand that it maybe take a degree to get there, right?
Yeah.
But there's loads of people that I work with that got degrees. There's loads of people that apply for promotions, positions, and stuff like that, but never got it. And I'm there looking at this whole sea of white people, and sometimes it shows when they communicate through our internal forums and internal stuff, and the way that they talk. And I remember highlighting it, and I went on a vicious rant, right?
Yeah.
Vicious rant, and some people from above quite high in the company. Oh, so we never knew this was a problem. But you're one of the biggest airports in the world. You have one of the most multicultural, multicultural workforce in the world, right? But how did you not know this was going on? It's because you were surrounded by non-ethnic minorities that you didn't see it happening.
Who don't believe it's a problem.
Yeah, who don't believe it's a problem.
And that's not their fault.
That's not
either,
their fault.
because they don't know better.
They don't know better, but when you're a company, you have to have that awareness.
No, of course.
Yeah,
That's
as an
what I'm saying,
individual,
yeah.
slightly different. But you got to remember, when you're in a workforce such as that, when you're in a spotlight such as that, as a company is that big, that
There
workforce,
needs to be
Yeah.
some sort of committee to be able
all
to
I'm gonna
identify
say, all I'm
these
gonna
problems.
say is that they definitely know about LGBT, right? They
Of
Q
course.
plus, they definitely know about that. But when it comes to the treatment of minorities, I go, all right, this is what really really wound me up. And it wasn't the food that wound me up. It was a lack of understanding, the lack of the people working there, and the lack of just someone taking obviously responsibility for that, right? And they
Yeah.
were like, oh, we'll have to talk to our supplier. But hold on, your supplier has unlimited halal of food going towards every other terminal for our work staff canteens. So, but run over. Did you see? Did you experience? Because I was talking to, like I said, I was talking to Daniel Khan last week, and he was telling me how hard it was to get into boxing, being a minority. It's a bit harder. We always see that young boxers, Pakistani Muslim boxers, you see them as amateur. You never get to see them much as professionals. So I want to see, did you go through any of this?
No. And I will say why. I think the biggest problem with a lot of us brown people, right, BAME community, and this again isn't no fault of our own either, right? We give up before we get our chance a lot of times, right? Especially where I'm talking about from my own experience, right? So banking, I've seen there to be a lot of Muslims. I've seen a lot of brown people, Muslims the whole spectrum. I'm talking white revert Muslims to, to Arab Muslim, like,
Yeah.
That whole spectrum, right? So there are opportunities there. So we used to have a prayer room,
Mm-hmm.
right? Prayer room. I'm talking wudu facilities, probably better than a lot of mosques that I've seen as well,
Yeah.
right? They were good enough to be able to give us that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And credit where it's due, right? Because yes, you need that multi-faith room, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to keep it maintained, to clean it, to be able to actually keep it in order is credit,
Yeah.
right? Some of my closest friends were from the ISOC at DB. Just because, we just clicked, right? We work at the same place. We go through the same things pretty much every day. We understand what each other is going through. And yeah, it's great. People with massive beards, like proper sheikh looking dudes, right? I'm talking like proper sheikh looking. Outside of work, they're wearing thobe and shaved head, no mustache, like,
Yeah.
not my type of beard, but I'm talking proper
Yeah.
big. And, mashallah, they're doing a lot of good work and they're representing really well,
Yeah.
right? And just a step before that, I think we are not willing to adapt in the sense, look, and I'm saying it, I know I'm treading on eggshells here, right?
Yeah.
What I mean by not willing to adapt is when you go to an interview, right? If I speak like, yo, Wagwan, I'm in it. Like, if I speak like that, no one's giving me a job,
Oh, yeah, I've seen that many a time.
right? You sound like a trash bag. Like, don't speak like that when you
Yeah.
go to an interview, right? You don't sound mature enough to be able to be like, hey, can I put this guy in front of a client?
Yeah.
If I can't put this person in front of a client, what good is he to me?
Yeah.
Right? We're not good at articulating our ideas because we're too busy preconceiving that this person hates me.
Mm.
That preconception. So I was reading a bit about subconscious bias, right? And it was actually the head of KPMG that resigned, I think, during the week, right? And he said something about there's no such thing as preconceived bias or subconscious bias or whatever that word is. Now, I think it works both ways, right? This man thinks you're a brown man, so you're not probably as good as white man,
Yeah.
for example. Brown man going in with white man doesn't think I'm good as white man. Hey, why? Why are you going into, adding to what he thinks, right? If you're going to play the victim card or you're going to antagonize the interviewer, you're definitely playing into his stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
What if you went in, you gave him a smile and be like, hey, how's it going? Hey, I've done so and so, really show that enthusiasm to say, nah, bro, look, I'm good. I'm here. I'll give you 110%. And that's what I mean by we aren't willing to change. It's like, guys aren't going to accept you for who you are. They're not your mum.
Yeah.
Your mum is the only person on earth that's going to accept you for who you are. Or your dad. Your parents are going to accept you for who you are. Even your wife isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, love at first sight, blah, blah, blah. No, that doesn't exist. You have to make sacrifices. You have to change the way you are, right? To stay in a long-term committed relationship.
Yeah.
Before I was a dad, I didn't have a care in the world. You know what I mean? Like, now you have a daughter, you have to change. You have to adapt, right? I can't talk to my daughter like, yo, shut up.
Yeah.
If she's crying, like, that doesn't work. What does she know? She knows nothing, right? Instead of getting angry about it, which I would have done before, it's like, oh, come here, it's okay. Mwah, mwah, it's okay. Ooh. Like, you play baby, you play dumb, you start crying. You're like, oh, that hurt me. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you need to be able to convince that guy that whatever you believe is wrong, I can do this job and I will be better than anyone else. Right? So that's what I mean by go in and attack it head on. Let's not play victim card. Right? Victim card, what I mean by that is if we've grown up in a normal circumstance,
Yeah.
right? Not if you're going out, you have to work 2 jobs to put yourself through, like just to buy dinner
Yeah.
because your mom and dad can't earn. Totally. That's a total different scenario.
Yeah.
I'm talking normal person, goes school 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, comes home, and then binges Netflix. That's the type of person I'm talking about. We are too ready to put excuses up very, very quickly. I couldn't do this because I'm not naturally gifted like you. That's a lie. Going back to the right at the beginning, what I said, right? Qasim, it might take you 10 hours to learn something. It might take me 5 hours to learn something. Right? Don't go based off of Qasim's 5 hours to say, yeah, I'm only going to study 5 hours too. You know, it only takes 5 hours. No. Recognize how long it will take you to learn something. We're too busy making excuses for ourselves from early on, and those excuses become bigger as you go along. Yes, there are biases in the world. Like, I'm not denying that. But do the best that you can.
Yeah.
And then if it goes the wrong way, Allah, that's it.
Yeah.
Your reward is with Allah at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Who's there to gift anything to you? No one owes you anything. You get what I mean? Like, your reward is with Allah at the end of the day. Your duty is to do your best. And one quote that stuck with me, right? From my A-levels. I was like, I actually told one of my teachers, I was like, who was Muslim, right? I was like, sir, make dua for me. He was like, listen, Allah only helps those that help themselves.
Okay.
Right? I will make dua for you, but that dua is only going to come true if you put in the effort.
Yeah.
Right? That hit home. That was like, man bowled a full toss, went 6. Like literally 6 over cover, just bam. Man, that hit home. That was like, wow. That makes so much sense. And that literally was like, yeah, bro, that's it.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense? What I mean by that?
No, that makes sense. I mean, I do agree with obviously putting in that effort, doing your best. You know, the thing is, I'm not going to say that there is cultural bias and there isn't cultural bias. Everyone's experienced everything differently. That's a whole point of this podcast.
Yeah.
So each individual that we obviously kind of interview, yourself or somebody else, our listeners might attach themselves to you a little bit, understand or feel the same way that you know, kind of like go, all right, yeah, similar, but it might be not as similar. Might talk to somebody else, listen to somebody else on the podcast, and go, I've kind of experienced that, and how they you know helped. Obviously, there's definitely gonna be industries where there's gonna be a lot more brown people in that industry. I mean, if we're going into computer sciences, for example.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
I mean, it'd be hard to spot a white face there, but you know what I mean. But we are saying that there is going to be areas, but if you have experienced cultural biases, then what have you done about it? How did it make you feel? But you know, alhamdulillah, you've been fortunate.
Very, very, very fortunate.
And okay, we're gonna wrap up soon. But one more segment of this, and
of course.
And just before I start that. What do you think has been the happiest moment? I'm not gonna say having a child because everyone likes to use that word.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like they're like the most fulfillment, the one moment in your life that had that fulfillment.
Fulfillment.
Okay.
Ooh, that's hard.
Happiness and fulfillment, like that thing. You know, I've done something. I've done it.
I think the happiest, like, you know, when I've been like, I was like, jumpy, very, very jumpy. The two vivid times that I remember, and I'm not going to use a cliche like, oh yeah, when I got married or whatever, right? I think first time when I was like super, super jumpy that I vividly remember is when I got an A star in my maths GCSE.
Yep.
I was like, wow, amazing. I managed to do it because it was all that effort to that day. And like literally I stayed up like 2 nights before results just because I was excited to see what I got. And when I found out, I was like running everywhere. So I remember that. Again, very, very sad, right? Like that gave me excitement, but it is what it is, right? Also, I remember I came back from Jummah and I got my university results, final year, and opened it, said I knew what I was going to get because like there was no way I wasn't going to get what I got.
Yeah.
Right? Because like I scored really highly in my first 2 years to like I had to screw up real bad.
Yeah.
To, you know, not do well in my third year. So it was and me and my friends were actually going to go top golf that day. And I'd never been before either. So it was again like I remember it was a nice summer's day, just came back from Jummah and like, you know, with your friends and you just find out you graduated, you got so and so grade, and then I'm just telling my friends. But again, it wasn't like wow, but I remember that vividly.
Right, so no, great moments, but it wasn't the moment I was thinking about. Okay.
What were you thinking?
Hajj. So we're gonna go into our next segment.
Okay.
Religion. So that's our next segment.
Okay, I was still thinking you were thinking on that side of things.
No.
Okay,
that's why I said. That's why I tried to use the word fulfillment.
Ah, okay.
That's why I tried to
couldn't
throw
relate.
that in a little bit of a hint. Fulfillment.
Yeah.
Right,
no, I couldn't relate.
So the viewers or listeners, obviously when we met doing Hajj.
Yes.
For those that don't know what Hajj is, it's pilgrimage. It's one of our 5 pillars of Islam. It's if you can afford to do it, you do it, and it's I think it requires a lot of sacrifice. When we say sacrifice, monetary sacrifice being the big thing. Well, what it cost us, it cost me 6.3, 6.5, I think.
Yeah, you guys were 6.5. It just cost me on 6.
Oh.
So I was on the other package.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't stay in Raffles, man.
No, you didn't say Raffles.
No, I didn't stay in Raffles.
You should have paid the extra.
I should have, but
that 24-hour butler. Jeez.
Yeah, but the thing is, for me, I'd been married a year and a half.
Oh yeah.
At that point, and literally the savings that I had done in like the first year, like I worked 1 year, got married the next year, and then went Hajj the year after. So man, it was just expense upon expense. Yeah. So yeah, like it was, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where we met, and that obviously requires a lot of sacrifice in terms of patience. Massively. I mean, were you there for the rooftop incident? I'm not going to mention what happened, but were you there for the rooftop?
I heard about it.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I heard about it.
Right, so it requires a lot of patience, and unfortunately, patience was tested amongst us many a time.
I heard a few boxing gloves did come on.
No, alhamdulillah.
No, like it was verbal boxing gloves.
Oh my God, it was horrible, yeah.
It was verbal boxing gloves, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, but that was obviously just the effects of what Hajj can do to you. Not that it's a bad thing, you know, it happens, but it does test you as an individual, as a person. And I disagree with anyone that says it doesn't test you. It does test you. I mean,
it pushes you to a limit. Yeah. Like, in the sense, just as an example, right? I got to Mina camp. Yeah. Right? So me, Shahzaib, a friend of ours who was on the with us in Hajj, and all the other, like basically my 4th floor buddies were on the other side. Yeah. So basically we had 2 lanes of beds. Basically, no, actually it was 4 sets of lines of beds. It was one on one side, and then the other side was facing, and then the other one was just back to back, and then if you can imagine, like it's a sandwich of beds, basically. Yeah. Now, my friends were on the other side. I was basically, and then someone actually spotted me going to one bed. He climbed over, smiled at me, and sat down on that one bed that was left. Oh, I was livid. I was angry. Testing. It was like, bruv, I was gonna go there. What are you doing? But I literally sucked it up. I was like, oh, okay. Went out the door, came back. I was stuck between two uncles. I'm talking uncles.
Yeah.
Like 60, 65 years old. I think one of them has passed away recently as well. I saw it on the group chat. I think it was him. I'm not sure. But one uncle did pass away recently anyway in the group chat. But yeah, bro, I wanted to be next to my friends. And I'm stuck next to uncles. But I think I was protected in that sense.
Yeah.
Being with friends, I would have been engaging in naughty conversations.
No, you know what? I have to give it, because I don't know where you were sleeping, but obviously I had my dad on one side, but we had all the younger brothers right in front of us.
I was literally just opposite, but 3 or 4 down.
Yeah, so we were
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were okay. Because I remember one point. I actually remember where I felt brotherhood is where we were actually just sat there where we had a bit of time. I think one of the brothers was giving a bit of dawa, but we're just having a general laugh. And you have to understand, I've never met these brothers before. We had a Hajj seminar. I might have recognized a few faces.
Yeah.
I'm not very good with the names anyway. I wouldn't remember even the guy who slept next to me, right? And when
he
we
was your
slept
dad.
Oh, no, that was the other side. When we slept, we actually have these, like, you imagine like a fold-out sofa made out of just foam, right?
It was just literally foam covered.
And I mean, like, it is the size of your body width, and I'm a big guy, right? So I might have been overspilling a little bit, but but you know what I mean? You're like there body to body with everyone, right? These are people you've never met in your life, right?
Yeah.
You're tired from the moment you land in Mecca, right? So in Jeddah, sorry, yeah. Then you've got to take a long trip to Mecca. You've got to do your Umrah, right? Your initial.
And it's hot.
Yeah, the heat is different level, right? It's different level. We were fortunate to have AC in our tents, right? To the
I was
point that-
sleeping right underneath it.
Yeah, and I remember the complaints. So you brothers were freezing, and some
I
brothers
was
were,
fine.
Yeah.
I think I had the best sleep in Mina ever.
Did you?
From Muzdalifah, you know when you come back, I walked it from Muzdalifah. A lot of people took the bus.
Oh,
And they got stuck.
The bus.
Huh?
Oh yeah, I remember.
And they
that.
got stuck in an accident.
Yeah, we were.
Right? So they were stuck in an accident. I walked it. Me and my wife walked it.
45 minutes, apparently.
About 45 minutes.
Yeah, next time I'm walking.
Oh, I had the best sleep. No one was there. I literally went. So usually to get into a shower and actually use Western toilets took about 35 minutes?
Yeah,
Here, you had all of them free because
Yeah.
no one was there.
yeah.
Walked in, took a shower, didn't even have to dry myself because it took about
30 seconds.
30 seconds to dry. I was bald, so I had no hair.
Yeah,
And it was great because you don't even have to wipe your head down because, like, literally no friction, nothing stays up there.
yeah.
And yeah, great. Like, literally, I slept in a wet towel and oh, it was amazing. It was just the best sleep ever because you're just so tired. I slept like an hour the night before.
Yeah. Oh, you mean up in yeah?
In Muzdalifah because we
Yeah.
got there really late
We got, that was, I think, the worst sleep I've ever had in my life.
because there was no space.
There was no space, and you're sleeping on rocks.
Sheikh Jallo was here. His feet were here and my head was here.
Yeah.
Luckily, he didn't kick me. Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah.
he kicked me.
Yeah, and I think it's a test. It was a test. I mean, my best sleep was when I got to Raffles. I'm too used to the
rubbing it
comfort.
in.
Yeah.
The butlers, he tucked you in as well.
Literally cool, and they're right there outside your door. You know, they weren't in the room, thank God. But yeah, I mean, I managed to meet some friends from different camps as well. I mean, I think that was good. But I think for me it was the brotherhood. I mean, to have never chilled with these people, and then to be body to body with everyone, and then I mean, I think my dad's patience got tested when we had background. So we brought an extension lead.
I
Right.
used that
Yeah,
extension.
oh yeah, you definitely use it.
I
So
use that
everyone.
extension
So obviously, you can imagine you're in a makeshift tent, like a let's say marquee type tent, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna call it a
pretty much,
marquee.
yeah.
just to build a picture of everything, right? In there, body to body, humans in there, right? Only a few outlets, and we've brought an extension lead. Now you got to imagine there's about 50 men in there, or there's over 100 men in there, I think, right? About 4 sockets, right? And we've got one of them attached to a extension lead. Now you got people who want to charge their phones, right?
You know what I was doing though? I was charging my power bank, so I would just use it once, and then I'll get 5 charges out of it.
Yeah, exactly. That was a smart thing to do. But everyone else was trying to pull. Every so often, somebody would unplug somebody's phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you had people like it's right next to my dad's head, and I'm right next to my dad as well, right? And you got people climbing over at night time when everyone's asleep. You got a phone. My dad set a straight rule: turn your phones off. I don't want to hear it. Right? What, you getting phone calls in the middle of the night, and you're like, my dad's, but
Uncle, it's my wife. She wants him. She wants us to go for a walk.
Oh, there was one brother. So when we were in our Rusafa, so where we first come into in Mecca, our little rooms, there was one brother. Every 5 minutes, there would be a knock on the door. A brother would be like, your wife's outside asking for you. And for a while, he was like, okay. Then at the end, you saw he just like, I can't believe. He was known as a brother that was his wife was just waiting for him every 5 minutes outside. And she couldn't stay away, not like that. She was really like dependent on him, and like just like and you can tell he was getting frustrated. He felt for the brother, man. But
and I guess it's if she didn't get along with her roommates, that made it difficult as well.
I mean, I think other than the rooftop incident we had, the brothers got on very well.
Oh, it was amazing.
From what I heard, the sister side wasn't as great. There was a lot of backbiting. There was a lot of issues.
I think my wife had it fine as well.
But I think my mum witnessed quite a few, because my mum was in the women's section, of course.
Yeah.
But they witnessed quite a few, It was, it was very sharky, apparently.
For us, it was great because the guys that I was in the room with, their wives were in the same room as my wife.
They did try their best.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it was perfect.
I mean, I'm gonna plug in now, not my stuff, but Hassan Hajj tours, right? Inshallah, whenever it all kicks back up and we can travel.
Inshallah.
Yeah, I tell you now, Hassan Hajj, right? And I'm tight with the family now, right? And I still won't get a discount, but if I go again, but it is what it is. What I'm just saying is, they provided a service, in terms of making your Hajj the most comfortable Hajj possible, hands down, right?
I think the way they did it, right?
Yeah. Was
they treated you like their own family.
Yeah.
And they literally gave you what they would want themselves.
Yeah.
You get to Rusafa and you're like, huh? What is this? Like, your first thought is, going to be living in a building.
Yeah.
What? Like, you're going to be living in a building, but until you see it, you don't believe it.
Yeah.
You get there. You're like, what?
What's his bed?
Yeah. It's literally a metal frame and it's got, a 2-inch mattress on it.
Yeah.
And you're like...
But I tell you something now. And they do say that once you stay there and you feel like it's a 1-star hotel, right? Once you've stayed in the camps at Mina, once you've slept on the floor of Muzdalifah, right? And you come back, that room is now a 5-star room.
Should I tell you even better? The coach ride back from Mina to Rusafa.
Yeah.
I fell sick. Because the guy was just swerving. I was standing at the back because there was no seats.
Yeah.
I was standing. And I'm very well known in my family for getting motion sickness.
Yeah.
Like, when it's overboard, I get a bit like, oh, crap, my stomach's a bit weird. And by that point, literally, I was like, I need some 7-Up. Because obviously, Asian remedies go wherever you are. 7-Up. Put a bit of salt in there. Or need to get a few burps out to, just get that gas going away. But man, I literally went to the room and just knocked out for a bit. Because I needed to. Mm-hmm. That bus driver made me sick. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it felt great because you get there, you're like, this is my own bed. I'm not literally sleeping next to anyone. I'm not cuddling with an uncle right now. Yeah.
We were lucky at Arafat as well.
Man.
So Arafat is basically a big desert plain, right? Now, fortunate enough, we went with a very good group that we got our own little oasis. I think it was announced our own little heaven up there because
it felt like in Pakistan. Have you ever been to a farmhouse?
Yeah.
It felt like that.
Yeah. But you literally had guys coming past you. I don't know where you sat in that same area, spraying you with water to cool you down.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Now, my mum and dad, obviously, when they went to Hajj, they'd already been Hajj before. They didn't have a very good experience. For them, it was amazing, right? So they painted the picture to me like it was going to be really tough. I've gone there, I'm like, excuse me? I'm like,
This is
"Oi,
a party, man."
I felt like I was in Pakistan, like one of those weddings and townhouse weddings and stuff like that. It was
The Monday though,
yeah. Oh, the food.
bro, that platter.
Let me tell you something now, right? The food there was amazing, right? I am now going to complain about something. I could not eat the food in. I could not eat the food. I didn't eat in Mina. I drank a lot of fizzy drinks in Mina,
I was cooking it down.
coking it down.
Coke,
Yeah, because
Fanta,
you need the
everything.
sugar. You need the sugar.
Yeah,
Right, because that walk up to the walks. Oh,
bro, the teas though.
the teas.
I never drink tea.
Yeah,
I don't drink tea.
Yeah, nor do I. But I was drinking tea, coffee, whatever, anything that would just.
No, that what is it? That compressed milk
Oh yeah,
and just the
milk.
tea.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was magical. Like literally, their tea was so like it was the perfect sweetness. Oh, so nice.
Did you catch the bug when we got back to
I had the coughing bug, but I didn't have the stomach bug.
stomach bug? So basically, all of our pilgrims, I say 90% of the pilgrims, just got wiped out by.
They were all in hospital. It was
I shouldn't laugh, but it was something out of a movie scene. We've all come back. We've completed Hajj at this point.
yeah. We're
Yeah.
back.
So we're now waiting to go to our hotels, right, where we get to now relax and
Yeah.
go back to the leisures of the world, right?
Yeah, to be able to like enjoy
Right.
life.
And somehow and the problem is hygiene, right? God, alhamdulillah, COVID wasn't there because we were, it would have been. Imagine COVID, right? The way that spreads. This bug spread like that. All of a sudden, 90% of everyone just went down. All you heard is one family going down, one wife, husband and wife. But the thing was, I was speaking to him, that he was like, if you looked at the trend, it was husband and wife, husband and wife, husband and wife, and that's how it started.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Because obviously hygiene, it's just hygiene, and obviously the person you're having contact with is your other half. I mean, I'm not having that kind of contact with you, and if that was happening, then it was just basic
That's a bit
hygiene.
weird.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. I mean, even though we were still in close quarters, but we're not saying.
You know what? The thing is, I lost my train of thought. Carry on.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
Right, so the Ministry of Health had to come, right? We're
Yeah.
talking about official vehicles coming. They shut down a place that we were eating from because the first thought it was from there.
Yeah.
Oh, God help them out. I swear they must have. I think they got, what's his name? He got fined for calling the Ministry of Hajj first, the health. What's his name? I can't believe I've forgotten his name. The one that was doing all the buses for us.
Ghazi.
Ghazi. Yeah, I think he got
Ghazi.
told off as well first until they realised how big of a problem it came. We luckily, alhamdulillah, about 2 minutes away from us, we had a hospital. So we're all getting sent. Everyone's getting sent there.
Getting
Yeah.
was it
I mean, we saw doctors come. It was a scene.
glucose treatment and all of that.
It was like a scene out of a horror, like a thriller movie where end of the world. It was almost like it became a hospital site.
Just
So
literally a pandemic.
literally a pandemic. We saw the pandemic before it happened. A bit, and for the fact the Ministry of Health had to come was a big thing. But coming back to this, obviously, I think this is what for me was one of the best moments in my life. I mean, I say I wouldn't do it again on several reasons, but first of all, mentally draining, physically draining, and financially it has drained you. But if you can't do it, still do it, because once you've done it, the moment you knew you'd completed it, right? You do your qurbani, but you still got to do that tawaf and say at the end, right?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. Honestly, because you know that you got the last tawaf and that last sayi, right? Which is look at my vlogs, right? So the Bearded Traveller vlogs, Hajj vlogs, Google that, the Bearded Traveller Hajj. You will see explanation of Hajj to its T in terms of first person view and everything like that. But that was probably the easiest one I've ever done because you knew that was the end.
Yes, but also the previous point that came back before it goes. We were talking about hygiene.
Yeah.
Do you know what I saw?
What?
So after you get your qurbani done,
Yeah.
you get your hair cut,
Yeah.
right? Now you're lining up to take a shower.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not even joking what they were doing, right? Literally, guy took a shower. He did not even bother taking his ihram back. He just chucked it in the toilet or just left it there. It's like, come on. I took a picture and actually made it the group picture for a few of my WhatsApp groups. The toilet picture. just what the Western toilets look like, because it's a perfect reminder of where you have been. And I think that teaches you a lot of discipline,
Yeah.
how to maintain yourself. So you, not just for yourself, but so you're clean for other people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just simple manners. Wipe the seat.
Mm.
You know, you obviously wipe the seat because you don't want it dirty for yourself.
Yeah. And the
Well,
next one.
wipe it for someone else as well. You know, like, just be nice, be considerate. I think people, when the test isn't just, you know, if you didn't backbite, if you didn't swear, if you didn't
it's
this,
your whole character.
it's your whole persona.
Person.
Yeah, it's like, how are you to other people?
Yeah.
How are you, you know, and yeah, like there was one incident, right? One incident that I experienced and I truly regret, right? And I actually remember it till this day. This one brother fell sick. He started throwing up, but I started feeling like I'm going to throw up too. So I walked away because I was like, oh no, I don't want to start throwing up as well. But in that situation, afterwards, when I reevaluated, I was like, I should have gone to help him. Maybe that might have been my ticket in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that might have been, and at that point, or at those points during Hajj, you are at your most focused on what you are doing.
Because you don't want to mess up.
You don't want to mess up. But now, are you as careful as you were then?
No.
Do you say, I'll do this, I'll ask for forgiveness later? Or you do
Yeah.
things because it's just casual everyday life.
Yeah.
When I came back and I was going on the train, first day back, bald, a bit of a big beard, you know, a bit more Muslimic, so to speak. You know, I was like, ooh, fitna.
100%.
Bro, I was literally counting levels of fitna. It was like,
And I think the shame there is that when you realize that there was, okay, you're doing your Hajj, you're in a very spiritual area, you know, you're in Mecca, you're in Medina, right? You can't afford to be sinning, right, when you're doing Hajj, because something can't invalidate the Hajj.
yeah,
But you're in that mindset, you have to do everything correctly. You're in a holy place, you're surrounded by Muslim people, you're in a I say Muslim country, I say that loosely, but those two cities, right, are obviously very strict, right? The level of fitna, and we say fitna, how do we describe fitna for the listeners? We say fitna as
misguidance or temptation. That's it. That's
temptations of sin, and you know, going on further that it was. I'm not gonna say it was non-existent, but it was near to non-existent. Right?
It's easy.
It
also because you're trying to perfect your Hajj.
Yeah.
Everyone else is trying to perfect their Hajj. That level playing field is so easy.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of see where there isn't when it's at the wharf and people are shoving each other.
Oh,
yeah, but they're from people usually from back home, to be honest, not from here.
Bro, I'm not even joking. Those 2-foot back home ladies that ate their paronta like real
the
good.
Malaysians, their sisters, bruv. They were tanks,
Bro,
little things.
I'm talking choti aunties,
Yeah.
daddies.
Yeah,
I'm talking white hair, right? Like full white hair but brown, like crystal golden skin. They will knock man out for jokes. You know, put them in a amateur boxing fight with someone. Oof.
I saw these 6 foot, right? 6 foot African men in the most solid formations chanting.
They were dancing through it, bro.
Oh,
like
they were in solid formation. Nobody would get in their way, yeah?
no.
They were chanting. When you were talking about tribal chanting, right? I don't know what they were chanting, right? But my God, everyone just moved out of their way.
It's like, you do you, boo.
We ain't getting trampled over this. Trust me, you would have got trampled if you stayed in front of them. You would have got dashed.
What about the, like, you know, the Turkish, the Iranian women?
Yeah.
Bro.
And and the funny thing is, us Western men are trying to protect our women, right? Our women, right?
Bro, I'm protecting myself as well. I'm like, I don't want to get hit by these women.
I don't want anyone hitting my mom, or, you know, I was with my grandma for Umrah last year, the year before, and I don't want to hit anyone, my grandma, right? And then you're there getting dashed about by women, and you're like, oh, what's going on here? But yeah, I think the women were worse. But hey ho, you know, it is what it is.
Like, and you know the first tawaf that we were doing, or the first Umrah?
Yeah.
So my wife was like, I want to go downstairs. I want to do it in there. I was like, look, it's Jama. Calm down. Like, relax. Let's just get this one through. Like, let's actually, enjoy it. Right? If you go down there, it's a war zone. People are going to be knocking you left, right, center. At least here, you're walking freely. It gets a bit crowded at some points. The green light area, where everyone slows down for some reason. And it's everyone's checkpoint. Like, oh, yeah, where you going to, when you're done, meet me at green light. It's like, bruv, why are you meeting at green light? Meet one after green light.
Yeah.
Meet two after green light. It's fine. But no, meet at green light. But it gets crowded. So, yeah, I was like, no, let's just do it here. Why do you want it? No, it's my first one. I want to go touch the Kaaba. It's like, relax.
Touching the Kaaba is a sport that what?
We managed to do it in the Hajj Tawaf.
Yeah.
Because, bro, it was like two or three just rows.
Yeah.
To do your Tawaf.
Yeah.
Mad. Shazib managed to kiss Hajr Aswad within the Hajj Tawaf.
Really?
Yeah, because there was no one. I still have pictures of...
No, by the time we got there, it was busy.
Like, when I went, no one. Like, we literally managed to finish... it was basically Umrah.
Yeah.
Right? Within the space of, an hour and a half. Quick.
And I like to say something like that. I would say that, people that obviously, I remember doing Umrah the year before, right?
Yeah.
That was difficult. Then you do the initial Umrah. That's difficult. You do Hajj. And you do that. You do everything. Now I think, I could do that. That mindset. If I've done Hajj, right? Umrah, easy.
Yeah?
Easy. I can do it with my eyes closed. And you know what? I probably could do it with my eyes closed, knowing the layout of it very well, right?
Exactly, because you know where everything is.
Yeah, you already know what you're doing. That's one half of the battle.
Yeah, you're not navigating anything, right?
You're not navigating. You're not worrying about. You already know what you're doing because you've done it before.
Yeah.
But I think once you've gone through that difficult, and I say something, and this is why I'm coming back to. Obviously, part of this whole thing is we've been fortunate enough to do it, and I always say that the younger the better. I said that 100%. The younger you are, the better to do it. You're younger, you're fitter, right? I say your mentality is a lot better in terms of you're not stuck in your old ways. I say, I mean that's what I was looking at. Obviously, previous generations, but you tend to be a bit more accommodating. You're a bit more, helping people out. People, I remember the older lot looking to us sometimes at some points. Older people look towards us. When it comes to helping out and sort of holding other things. But I tell you something. Worst thing was when somebody ran over my feet with a wheelchair.
Oh,
right. So
did you get the heel attack as well?
No, I never got the heel attack. But when we were going to do the stoning?
Yeah.
Right. The first days you have to do it yourself. Second and third day, if you're not well, then somebody else can do it.
Yes.
Did I hear knocking?
I thought so too.
Maybe, but yeah. Are we run out of time?
It's 9 o'clock.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think someone's there.
All right. Well, one moment. You continue talking about Hajj.
No one's there? Oh, yeah.
I think that's just the studio next to us. Obviously, we're in a podcast studio. I do apologise for that little... we just definitely thought I heard knocking, but there's nobody there. The automatic sensor lights were turned off as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, so there's nobody been there for ages.
Maybe someone's, knocking from...
Waste, man. Anyway. Right, so we're back in jokes. But yeah, back to, so, and it's Hajj, right, yeah, back to Hajj. Yeah, and I think... what idea was it? Yeah, just... we're able to, obviously, talk to our experience. And I'm going to say that, so, we talk about success, we talk about money and stuff like that. For me, religion, part of our success in life, we work, though we tend to forget, obviously we aim for the life after this, so then, after death, basically. And obviously trying to do things, obviously Hajj being one of the big things, I think, for me, no matter what I've ever done, right, even though I know it was the most difficult thing I've done, right, and sometimes I get flashbacks of how difficult it was, right, and, it's kind of, it really tested my patience, and I'm a guy who has very little patience regardless. So, yeah, there was a moment where I could have completely lost it with my father, but I never did, right? Thank you to my mom for telling my dad, you just go that way. It was when I had to do the last tawaf. I wanted to do it on the roof.
Yeah.
Right. So like I was coming back to the stone where we have to stone the pillars.
Yeah.
Right. And by the time I had athlete's foot.
Oh.
And when I mean athlete's foot, I had ulcers at the bottom of my foot as well. I could not walk the second and third day of the stoning, so my dad had to do it on my behalf.
Right.
I had to have my feet raised in the air for 2 days.
Oh, I remember you weren't able to come. Yeah.
So when you do the farewell tawaf, not the farewell, but the last tawaf in the Hajj, right? And you're like, all right, you want to do it yourself, right? Did the tawaf, yeah? Did it on the roof.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not joking. I did it in 45 minutes on the roof, right?
Calm.
You imagine this is the busiest time it's been. It's crowded. You're looking at the bottom like, I don't want to go back.
Yeah, you do your thing, bro.
We're entering. Dad's looking on the screen like, there's big plasma screens going. Dad's going, it's not that busy. And your dad like, Dad, like I've gone through my feet are killing it. Dad, I'm going to do it on the roof. Dad, why do you come with us? Dad, listen, I'm trying to be respectful here. I'm trying to go, let me just go to the top, right? No, he's like, look at the screen. I'm like, Dad, I can't see any gap between anyone. I'm not doing it in there, right? Because I disagree with the whole pushing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you don't want someone stepping on your foot.
Yeah, exactly. The irony after.
Yeah,
I'm doing my tawaf halfway, and I'm not going to... my stomach started to hurt to the point that I had to leave the masjid, go to the toilet. So obviously I've taken that. I'll put the pause on the timer there. Did what I had to do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Do my wudu again, everything like that. Come back up and finish the tawaf because you can finish off from where you start last. You start off from where you last ended it.
Yeah, like if you did 3.5, but you start from 3 again. Yeah.
So we're doing the last bit. You're seeing that it's coming. It's right there. The end is near. Right, my feet going up and down, and this brother pushed some uncle on a wheelchair over my foot. I remember the pain like it was right yesterday. Honestly, the guy, I must have given him a look because he was begging for forgiveness.
Oh, I remember when I was very, very young. My granddad was in the wheelchair, and this was an Umrah, and there was this lady who was in the full niqab, right? So obviously at that point I was like ninja, but I again didn't do it on purpose. I accidentally I lost control, because it's the hill, right? And you go down.
Down, yeah.
I accidentally decked her heel, and they are sharp. I felt the pain. I could be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. And she's just looking at me, and I can only see her eyes. She's just like, I'm going to kill you. And it's just like, no, you ain't. You don't know, relax. But yeah, I can totally understand. I've been decked a few times on my heels as well on Umrah, but
the way he just went over.
Yeah,
I can imagine my feet are at that point where I'm sure at one point my feet were bleeding as well. But yeah, as much walking as you can prepare beforehand, and trust me, I do like my walks here and there because I walk a lot around where I work as well. I'm used to walking, so that wasn't it. It was the fact that your feet are not used to touching barefoot. We've got the comfort of a sock and a shoe. Over there, it's marble, right? It's marble, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's marble.
It hurts.
Eventually, your feet are gonna feel it. We're too comfortable, we're too Western, we're too soft, innit?
Yeah.
People from back home are like, this is nothing. We're down on dirt and rock and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think we all got blisters at some point because we're told to actually pack blister packs.
Yeah, I got shoe bites because of my sandals.
Yeah.
They were just terrible sandals.
Now listen to me, right? When I say this, right, I'm gonna say this with a bit of sass.
Don't.
Crocs.
I had Crocs.
What are you doing? What Crocs? Slipper Crocs?
No. I had the sandal Crocs, and they had.
Nah, leave it there. We're talking about the OG stuff, right? The OG ones, original Crocs, right? Feels like you're walking on air, right? I've still got them in my room because I know they're blessed Crocs, right? I'm not. They're there every time I'm gonna go Hajj or Umrah now. I'm not gonna go.
Are you allowed to wear? I thought you weren't allowed to wear full Crocs.
No, because it's technically, even though it's not open toe, right? It's still considered allowed because it's still a slipper.
Oh.
Yes.
I got the
enough
sandal.
Holes. No, there's enough holes in the front, in terms of air and stuff.
Yeah.
But your foot's it's still quite uncovered from the back as well. I mean, it does have that thing if you want to go into fast mode where you want that grip at the back, it does have that little thing where it flips behind it.
So mine had the back, the heel protection,
the heel.
and it was fabric, and that's what
this
gave
was
me.
the plastic.
It just kept on rubbing.
No.
Oh, do you remember the water fight people used to have when going to do the stoning?
Or people just busting out of water on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like literally, I had the water bottle. I'll be like,
Yeah, but remember the soldiers, they're spraying disinfectant and all of
yes. But I was like,
you were like, this is not water. This smells like disinfectant.
I was literally like, at times I'll be like, okay, let's do the calm spray. Just do it. And then sometimes if it's someone I know, turn it, and literally it's just that stream, and it'll go just back of the neck. Oh, so fun.
Right, so let's get back onto track now. So yeah, I think for me, I was hoping that you might have said that I was one of your pinnacle moments in life.
Yeah, I thought we were on a completely different wavelength at that point.
Fulfillment, get the hint. Yes,
it was. I would love to do it again.
Knowing what I know now, I think it'd be a lot easier knowing, because obviously I think for me, first time ever is the anticipation of the unknowing.
Yeah,
for
sure.
You don't know what's going on. As much as somebody can tell you what's going on, unless you've done it right once before. My mum and dad had a different. They could see that I was a bit more worried about what they seemed to. They were in overdrive. They were like, "Yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that." I'm like, what? What's going on? What's going on? I'm sure like the way that they explained it to me was a bit different to where I thought it was going to happen and the way it happened. But again,
you have your own perception because you've not seen it before, right? And I just had so much fun.
Yeah.
And I think it goes back to making the friends over there, right? You made friends with no recourse, right? Like, basically, you didn't make friends because, this guy's going to help me succeed in my career, or this guy, he's going to be useful to me. You just made friends because you made friends. Yeah. It was like primary school. You know,
it is exactly.
Literally like primary school, you're meeting them, and it's just like, I like you for you. I don't care what you do. Yeah. You do what you got to do, but I like you for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's hard to keep in touch all the time because, you're everyone's busy. You don't live next door to each other or whatever. But
even then, you know what? Even if you didn't talk for years, right? The moment you see each other, you've recognized each other. You remember, like I said, when I met the other brother, when I was doing that charity work, as soon as you see each other and you like recognize each other, figure out who it was, you instantly have that connection.
Yeah.
You instantly have that. And I think the memory shared is one of the best ones. I tell you, one of my friends, Afghan, right? I want to get him on as well. I want to do one podcast on Hajj as well. Might have to call you back. Amazing. Anyway, right? And even though he wasn't with our group or our camp, right? I went to go visit him, and he came actually I went to visit him in his camp in Mina.
Right.
And then he actually came to Raffles. I showed him Raffles as well. He came and chilled with us, right?
Did you get him some butler service?
No, whatever he wanted, he got in it.
Only halal though, just saying.
But let me tell you something now, right? Even having him there, right? We don't talk as much, right? Because obviously I went to uni and stuff like that and back, right? And he actually lives not about 5-minute, 2-minute car drive, about say 10-15-minute walk, right? And I've known him since uni as well. I've actually met him before uni, actually, through a mutual friend. We went to watch Harry Potter together. That's how we.
Oof.
Yeah, he came to me at uni when I was in second year. It was in first year, and he goes to me, "Bro, you don't remember me? I'm this and this friend. We went to go watch Harry Potter together." I was, "Oh yeah, back in the day."
You guys are Harry Potter friends. That's true friendship.
That's true friendship, bro.
That's pure. That's pure love right there.
So, it's like. I love the guy for the sake of Allah, and he's a friend of mine, but I have that extra bit. I knowing that we both did Hajj. We might not been together doing Hajj, but we were there at the same time. He was part of my memory of Hajj, and I'm part of his memory of Hajj.
Yeah,
and I think for
and
me,
you were both bold at the same time.
Yeah,
like you can like literally blend. You can actually bond over that.
I got a number one.
Did you actually get number one?
Yeah. I can't.
I remember.
My skin. I've got whatever you call it, cirrhosis or whatever for my head. Anyway,
man, you know what? Cutting your hair on Umrah is easy. I
cut people's hair in Mina for Hajj, Umrah, not in Mina. Sorry, the hotel Safer.
Yeah.
In Safer. Somebody was like, "Can you cut my hair?" Because I had my hair cut already.
Yeah.
Next.
Because you're not allowed. You're only allowed to once you get yours cut.
Next minute, it's like a barber shop, and then.
Well, blading it, or were you machining?
Machining it.
Man. Yeah. Imagine blading it.
But now I've learned. obviously because I go to a lot of Turkish barbers, I've now learned how to use a cutthroat.
Next time, you're like
Well,
literally
hold on.
10 real.
Oh no. I'm not gonna say that to that level. They're brilliant. I'm not that. I'm not going nowhere near
Bro,
your
we
haircut.
went to some dodgy barber.
We just went to the one in the next to the clock tower.
No, I'm talking when we got a Hajj one done.
Oh, the Hajj one was you talking about in the camp in Mina?
Yeah, and then
The
you go out, and then
Oh
there was
no, we were just doing it there near the toilets.
yeah, no, we went to some random.
What did we do?
So it was like about 5 of us,
Yeah.
and we went, and he gave us a good haircut. Alhamdulillah. I mean, he didn't have to
Yeah.
do much, right? He just had to shave your head,
It was
right?
it was
You don't need a
cut-
fade or anything, right? It's already like,
cut
and it's already yeah. It's,
pre-cut from Umrah.
but yeah, I was scared, and we literally sat there, observed about the 5 or 6 barbers that were there, and we're like, going to this one. I think it was me, Shazib, Imdad, Fahad. These 4 I remember quite specifically, and Abdullah, I think.
Yeah, man, it was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a really good time. So, and like it's for you. Some of you people actually bond and listen to this segment of this bit of Hajj because we've done it. But even hopefully you can understand how much we loved it as well. And I talk about inspiration, you know, how you be inspired and motivated. This is the whole point of this podcast. Now, you might have heard his banking or his mechanical engineering and see that as motivation, inspiration, right? But for me, for others, it's listen to our Hajj. Hopefully we can inspire you guys to go to Hajj as well. Motivate you to go to Hajj because honestly, if you can, and I say save up for it now because let me tell you now, it was 10 bags, it was 10 grand last year.
Yeah, I mean, what motivated me to go was literally watching a vlog on YouTube of Hajj.
I think for me it was different. So so I did Umrah the year before, right, 2017.
Right.
And then mum and dad were like, we're going Hajj in 2018. Why don't you come with us? And I'm like, I hate doing things with my mum and dad and my family. I'm very independent. I'm not a sad person. I'm very independent. I like my own space.
Fair enough.
And I don't ever go on holidays with my mum and dad, and they all go Turkey and stuff like that. And it's not me. I like to do things by myself. I don't mind meeting up with friends and stuff when I'm out there, but just I like my own space. Do my own thing with my own timing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was like, you know what? They're probably going to be a bit too much for me. I don't want to do it. So I said to them, I'll do it next year. Right? So I made the intention I was going to do it in 2019. Apparently, which was even a better year because it rained a lot more and it was a lot cooler.
Ah.
All right, we missed out.
Oh, wasn't there a bit of a flood as well?
I don't know. I would have been swimming in it. Anyway,
Yeah, there was. Because
though it did rain, we had a storm.
we had that sandstorm.
Yeah, it took out one of the ACs, didn't it? Remember, ACs were falling around in the Mina camp.
I was getting messages from here. Is everything okay? I was like, yeah, I think so. It's just
It wasn't as bad as what we saw.
Yeah, it was like, it's a bit of wind, but it's not that deep. Because we went out for a walk at that point. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Because you were like, bro, this is the good toilet. Just go there quickly.
See, everyone had their own priorities. Mine was a good toilet.
I know, everyone had toilet priorities,
Yeah,
man. Like,
yeah.
because that was the first day. That was literally the first night.
Yeah.
And if you've not gone toilet the whole day because you don't want to go to hole in the ground,
Yeah.
because, you're afraid. But I think by the last day, I was like, yeah, one leg. Just literally one leg squat. Boom. Pistol squat to do a poo or something.
This is explicit. This is explicit.
This is the explicit segment.
But yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, it was definitely like for me. And I say, I could talk about success, starting up a business, but this segment is on me. Starting up X, Y, Z, or doing this, or going here, or doing that. For me, and hand on heart, and I don't think about it as much, and I should do, is that, and I think it should be one of the reasons why, a great reminder for religion as well, is that Hajj for me, definitely the best experience where I felt more successful, knowing that I've done it. It's a weight lifted off your shoulders, because if I get older now and I can't afford it, I know I've done it. I've done it when I was young. I've done it when I've enjoyed it. I've understood at a point in my religion where I've understood religion a lot better as well. I didn't do it when I was too young.
No.
Where I didn't understand religion a bit. I did it when I was a lot more mature and understood religion and understood what I was doing and why I was doing it for. And for me, and I say it with a smile, like I've done Hajj. and I can't
It's
stress.
just so much fun.
It's
it was
fun.
just-
As hard as it is, right? And I say, when I say I don't want to do it again, right? There's reasons why. Because I think somebody else should be doing it instead of me. Third world countries have a waiting list, whereas we don't. We get to go with priority because we're paying a lot more money. But if we can provide for someone else to do it, why can't we provide? If we can give some of that money towards someone else who can't afford to do it, they can only afford half, and we can give them half. Why not do that? But
Yeah.
everyone, obviously, if I get married and my wife hasn't done it, then man's got to do it, innit? Unless you got somebody else you can go with. But
Me and my wife were actually having a conversation about that, right? Like in the sense that if we went back, would it be the same? Because I think for me, the group members were just amazing.
I think definitely, and you're probably gonna get every year someone's gonna say our group was the best, our group was the best. I'll tell you something, our group was definitely
Yeah,
amazing.
like our group was amazing.
We benefited because I think we were a very young group as well. We had uncles,
Yeah.
but a majority of us were younger,
Yes.
right? The sisters must have been younger.
Why
as
do you
well,
think I was sad when I was paired next to two uncles to sleep next to?
Yeah, but that
it was fine. Again, it
didn't really matter.
No, it didn't, and I avoided being distracted.
I mean, I saw my dad chatting to the guys like they were his age. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
different. I was like looking at my dad, and I was like, he's using was like mate, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Yeah, it's funny that because I met a few brothers after. They didn't ask how I was and how's your dad doing. I'm like, bro, I thought you were my boy, innit? But
You're my dad's boy. I know it.
you know what I mean? So it was. I can't stress how much it is difficult as it was. It was the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Right. And honestly, like you said, you watch about vlogs, right? We're in the same. I think there might have been a shot of you near Baskin and Robbins.
Yeah.
How much
I was there.
You
I actually took a screenshot.
You took a screenshot. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, send me a screenshot anyway.
Yeah.
So you know
I
what
will
I mean?
do.
So you got a bit. 30 seconds of fame, 5 seconds of fame. But,
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what I mean? People that I know that have been Hajj who weren't even in that year did definitely watch it as well because you have to have done it to feel that accomplishment, that sense of fulfillment and accomplishment. I don't think I'll ever get again. I could get married, I could have a child. I don't know, but that in its heart, I could say that's the moment I've had in my life.
And you know what? I'm actually glad you recorded it because it brings back the memories again, where you're like. Sometimes I just literally just turn on vlog one, have it in the background, and then just although I can hear you speak and whatnot, so I know where you are at what point, but I can just look back and be like, Rasefa was like, this was the room, or your room looked exactly like my room, like all the rooms look the same, this was, this was the area, and trust me, the area looked like Pakistan. I'm not even joking. It felt like I was in Pakistan.
Sand. All looks the same, doesn't it?
No, I mean, bro, I went, when I went to Egypt, Cairo, we were driving around. Reminded me of Pakistan as well. Like, we saw a wedding, right? People going into the hall and stuff. Looked exactly like Pakistan. I was like, all these countries are just literally built with the same infrastructure.
Did you go to Oberoi?
No, we were in the other hotel. No, so it was the package for Oberoi and Raffles, right?
Yeah.
And
I thought you still had Oberoi. The food there was like it was at Pakistani wedding hall.
I heard Oberoi, like you've got sushi bar, everything.
No, that's Raffles.
Oh, was that just Raffles?
I never saw sushi at Oberoi. I thought it was all Asian food.
No, I
Oberoi
heard,
is Indian. It's an Indian hotel.
but they had a Japanese restaurant inside.
No, they didn't.
Did they not?
No.
I thought they had a
They might have had
specific Japanese
no,
restaurant.
they had Indo-Chinese maybe, but that was it.
Oh,
I never saw anything Japanese.
I don't know.
Somebody said you lies.
No, I saw it on the website. Or it might have been Raffles.
No,
it might have been Raffles.
It might have been Raffles because remember in Hajj it was all just Hajj menus differ as well, especially for Oberoi. It was just all Asian cuisine, and those fancy as Raffles was, very bland food.
I found the same thing in Swiss.
Yeah, it's going to be because they're trying to cater towards a wide. But when I went to Oberoi, all these Asian flavors just like always like, hey.
I forget which hotel we were staying in. It was Darul something.
Yeah.
Bro, the food, the taste. The taste was just amazing.
And I think, you know what? I say something now, right? And I say to everyone, right? There was a moment in my whole Hajj experience, right? They say that, Medina, everything within the boundaries of Medina is blessed. Even like the grass, the strand of grass on the floor, in the floor. When they say that there is, as you enter, there's just this level of peace that just blankets over you. I felt that. I felt it. I've never felt at peace, right? As brilliant as Makkah is, Makkah's hectic. It's very hectic. It's very busy. It's very rushed. You know, it's very compact. You were like, you've done Hajj, but you're not. I was in Medina. I was like, I've never seen less people in my life. You had your space. You don't have to worry. I walked around for ages. It was amazing. I mean, I just felt at peace. I slept good. I woke up. I just walked around. It's a shame I wasn't there longer. Now next time I go,
That's exactly my regret.
Umrah.
I was on the express package, right?
Oh, okay.
So that's why mine was shorter.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people went for 3 weeks. I went for 2.
Yeah.
Just because, again, I couldn't get that many days off, and you know, you're limited.
I would happily do 5 days in Mecca and 1.5 days and 1.5 weeks in Medina.
I would love to, you know, just like spend a lot more time in Medina. And even last time when I went for Umrah, I didn't spend a lot of time in Medina.
I had 1 day when I was there.
Exactly. And next time, inshallah, once, I mean, I was hoping to go as soon as my daughter was born.
Yeah.
That was going to be like our first holiday together. Because Hajj was, like, obviously honeymoon and stuff is one thing, but Hajj was essentially our first holiday together, because I was like, okay, we can do Umrah, but it's basically one person's cost for Hajj.
Yeah.
Right? If we both go, it's one person's cost for Hajj, right?
Yeah.
So why not just do Hajj, both of us?
Yeah.
Save up a bit more, go the next year. Fine. And then in between we had a few, like, you know, just, you know, weekend in Europe and whatnot, but a proper, you know, 2-week holiday was Hajj.
Yeah.
Which was, you know, which was great. And I think it's a blessed way to start. I don't know, I just felt like that should be the way to start. Like, just Allah has got us married.
Yeah.
Right? And if we could actually say thank you in a way where it's like, you know, you appreciate the blessings that Allah passes your way, right? So it's like, yeah, I'll do Hajj. Why not? Because I can afford it.
Yeah. It's a great way to get to know each other as well a bit better.
Yeah.
Even though most of it is segregated. I mean, but however, you get to see each other in that.
But you're walking the whole way through, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, can I hold you? Can I, you know, like, it's like, no, leave me alone.
I don't know. Who are you, bro?
I need to walk too. You're heavy. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no.
She'll kill me if I said that.
Well, you said it. Left nostril.
She will kill me.
So you said you like your left nostril. You like a bit more space away from her at home, and now she's a heavy. Oh, she's not gonna.
I didn't say
I'm joking.
space away from her at home.
A little bit, just a little bit.
I like personal
Yeah,
space.
Right.
I like space away from
you know,
everyone.
She's not gonna understand that bit. You know, she's always gonna hear us. What? I'm not gonna give you your.
I
space,
told you I'm an introvert. I need my own space.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna end on here, really.
No, amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming. I mean, hopefully the listeners have been inspired. I mean, the Hajj segment wasn't even meant to be in here, but I remember just talking about it on the way here, so I thought I'd add it in. I mean, I think it was gonna come in regardless, because that's the connection we have.
Yeah.
That's how we know each other. And like I said, success subjective.
It is.
For me, that's part of me. That's part of me, and you know, I wish I could. You know, like I said, one thing I wish I could. That level of strictness that we had, and we, when you're saying we came back and everything felt like there was sin everywhere. I wish I was still here.
Slowly fades away.
Yeah,
just fades away.
Fades away.
It's exponential.
You know what? I'll tell you something now. And I didn't listen to music for a long time after, actually.
I stayed away as well.
I stayed away from music for a long time after.
And for me, do you know how I got back into music? I started going to the gym.
I started going shisha, but yeah.
I started going to the gym and I was like, oh, I'm getting bored. I literally talked myself into it. Yeah, I'm only going to listen to music in the gym.
You know what? Actually, I say that even though this is not a good thing, I ended up going shisha about a year after, I think. And then, I know we're not exposing our sins, but we're just talking about experience. And then even then I was like, I don't like the music here. Why? The music's making me uncomfortable. I think I started to do a bit of working out, and I was like, I can't do the working out without the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how I remember working out before Hajj. And I was like, I haven't worked out for ages. I need a bit of music, and there's one track. It only took one track. It's like heroin or cocaine. You just take that one hit, and you can get addicted to it. You know what I mean? Not that I'm taking cocaine.
It's like it brings you back into a relapse.
Yeah.
I've had phases where I've not listened to music for like a year, 2 years, and then someone plays a nice song, and you're just like,
especially one of those memorable ones. Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Yeah. It's just he's tapping.
I do not do drugs. I do not.
You seem to know where the vein was, but yes. But yeah,
I've seen it in films.
Yeah, I've seen it in films. But yeah, I mean, we're all not perfect, but it's a great reminder when we do that. Where we've been.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, man, Hajj definitely. It's really good to talk about Hajj as well. For somebody who's actually been Hajj, and especially part of the same group as well, it definitely.
It helps you reminisce quite.
It's like an exclusive club, isn't it? Think about it.
It is.
Even though me and my friend were in the same group, even though in the same year we didn't see much of each other, we know we're part of that exclusive club. And though we're not, it's nothing to boast about, but
that year,
but even if somebody else, you know what I say, some of my family friends, they went the year after, right? They went the year after, but you still got that. It's not. I don't want to say it's like an additional respect, but when you've watched Batman, right? You know when Alfred at the end sees Bruce Wayne again after he's supposedly dead, gives him that nod.
Yeah.
Just that nod, right? A little bit of respect there. That's what it feels like to anyone that's ever done Hajj, because you know what you've been through.
You just respect that. You've gone through it. That grit, that hard work.
Yeah. I'd like to say if I did Hajj again, it'd be a lot easier, but nah, I'm sure
I would love to go again.
I mean,
just to refresh. Umrah, but also to just, wipe your sins back to zero once again.
No, but the same works between two Hajjs. The sins between one Hajj, Umrah, sins between one Umrah and another one.
Including major.
I'll have to fact check that.
Because Jum'ah to Jum'ah is also sins are removed.
Yeah, so then we get a lot of blessings in Islam. We get a lot of sins removed all the time. But I think
there's loopholes, bro.
There's loopholes.
Yeah.
The travel loopholes.
But I know it's
Umrah to Umrah.
Jum'ah to Jum'ah.
I think the Umrah to Umrah must then be. Was that just so that people who couldn't afford Hajj? I don't know. Now, you know what? I'm gonna do a bit of research.
Yeah, this is a good question.
Right.
If someone knows, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Comment. So obviously it's the end of the podcast now. We keep on talking. He can talk for
forever.
And so can I. So again, thank you very much for coming on.
Jazakallah khair.
And for our listeners, we'll be if it hasn't already been done, we're just, trying to upload the Daniel Khan. We just recently uploaded the Daniel. I say that we're about to release Daniel Khan episode. That's our first episode. We just experienced some technical difficulties with the RSS feed, but once we're up, hopefully you're watching this already on YouTube. And I know we haven't looked at the screen as much.
Yeah,
it's only because we're still getting used to our setup in the studio. I was meant to be down there, but I think this actually looks a bit better. But we'll see.
It sounded better than the other one.
Yeah, there's something wrong with that microphone. So I was knackered it, right? But it's for higher in the studio. And yeah, and we're just working on a few, we're always looking to improve. But yes, but obviously he didn't want to look at the cables as well. So it's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Why. And
I felt it was more personal.
Yeah, it was a bit more personal. Yeah. Even though he did most of the talking, and all you guys probably see, I was like, yeah. But yeah. But his voice picks up on the microphone a lot better than mine. I think it's just my voice. I think I've come to the conclusion it's my voice.
Yeah, but, I've always been told I have a loud voice.
I can definitely tell. When he jumped in the car earlier on, I was like, oh.
Oh, hear him again. And
so we should be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple iTunes, and SoundCloud. So just look on if you just follow our Instagram page, moinspiration.official, it'll be up on there. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.